welcome to the show. This is Bro Show Live number 185, brought to you by Dick's Medibles and MBGS. Thank you to everyone on the panel who is here. Scobo's taking a hiatus day today, so he won't be here, but that's okay. He does a billion shows.
I'll do it.
Do it.
Welcome to
Bro Show Live.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Right.
Spartan, do you want to give it a swing?
Oh, I'm not prepared, man.
Okay.
I don't even want to get even in the running for that to be a replacement to Skilbo. Those
Fair
shoes
enough,
I
fair
can't
enough.
fill, man.
All right, so make sure you join us in, what do they call it? All chat?
In all chat.
All chat, yeah.
Red, do you have a sign for all chat yet? Becca, you're muted?
Yeah, all chat sign.
We were muted, sorry,
Oh,
Becca.
yeah. There's still live chat, but there's also all chat.
Okay. So do not follow their instructions and end up in the wrong chat. Go to all chat. I think that's what we're supposed to do now. Anywho,
YouTube chat.
on the YouTube.
This is the YouTube audience that we're speaking to,
Mm-hmm.
not the Frank tube, or
the Twitch.
or the Twitch.
We're simulcasting on Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah.
Every now and again, we'll get somebody on Twitch that's watching and commenting.
And Skilbo is uploading
now
stuff
looking
to
for
his
all chat.
podcast platforms.
That's right. And we're on podcast platforms. Getting caught up. Thank you to everyone for joining us tonight. What do we have on the itinerary? I guess I can start off by saying that Painted Lady and I went through the garden. We found a couple males. So like you do with any good male, we went ahead and kicked them out. We are working on, ordering the stuff to irrigate the grow so that we can go on vacation. Baked is going to help by taking care of Diamond while we're down there in Florida.
All
So,
right.
We'll be hanging out down there. And that should be a good time. So we're setting up that irrigation this week. And
What'd you get for irrigation?
I'm just going to use the same stuff I've always used. So I have some Netafim sprayers already. And I'll take my pumps and stuff that I already have. And then I just have to buy some hose. Because when I took down the other grow, I just cut it all and threw it away. So I just got to buy some hose and some
Yeah, it's probably dirty
caps and
anyways.
stuff. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that kind of stuff if you're not using like a cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
But so you're gonna go straight. I remember your setup. It was a tub for a res, and you put the pump in there. You're gonna go straight to you do like octa. What are those called where you have the hubs?
Well, no, I don't. I'm not going to use that. I did
Okay.
initially, but I'm just going to run just a mainline tube, and then I'm just going to punch a bunch of holes in
Like
it.
I have, and put the little orange nubs in.
Yeah. It
Okay,
works
yeah,
perfectly fine.
it does. That's what we do at work too, and I
Yeah.
redid all the lines at work because we went to a line per
I've got a
row.
nice Mondi pump that I was using to pump water from the basement to the second story of my old house, so I'll probably just set that up so I can be confident that it won't fail, and then we'll be good to go.
Might want. I think I have one extra, but you might want a 25 psi pressure reducer right after the
Yeah.
pump,
Yeah.
just to be safe, because that mono pump is powerful. You ain't gonna need to go up 3 stories this time. But yeah, that sounds like that'll be a nice little setup.
Yep. I'm excited to get it running again.
I don't know if you're going to be in the same area of Florida or not, but maybe you can visit Daddy Baked and Mama Baked while you're down there.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going, but they're up in the north.
I don't think they're really fans of the show like Red's parents are.
When are you guys going down?
I don't
there?
think they
Because
know.
maybe you can meet up with Daddy Red and Mama Red because they're about to be down there in like a week. They're actually down in Memphis right now. They were at Graceland today. They're on their way down to meet some family and
They probably don't want to like hang out with
Mississippi
friends'
or-
parents,
they're going to visit.
Hey, listen, they forced us on play dates when we were little
That's right.
against our will. It's now
Well,
time.
that's
Listen,
my
here's another old person I found you, Mom.
Exactly.
Go
Time
hang
for a
out
play
with
date,
them.
guys.
Yep.
You
We don't
want
know
me to take
them.
you guys to the
I don't
park?
care. Make friends with them. Be nice.
That's right. I'll take
I
you to the
believe
park and
we're-
play checkers.
We're meeting
Yeah.
up with some Groskies, some show watching fans that are down there in that area. We're supposed to be visiting New Smyrna Beach,
Okay.
Ocala Forest or whatever, and enjoy that. I'm excited. See some monkeys and stuff.
Monkeys in Florida?
I got
Yeah,
family
yeah.
in
In that particular area, there is.
Ocala.
Are they wild?
No, they got released for the Tarzan movie. That's what Painted Lady told me. So she's been down there and saw the monkeys down there kayaking around. Not the monkeys kayaking around, but she was kayaking around and saw some monkeys. So that should be interesting. We saw a monkey in Mexico, and I
Mhm.
took a picture of it with my phone as proof that there was a monkey there.
Shock the monkey.
We did not.
Shock the monkey.
I spanked the monkey.
Oh, jeez.
Got a chuckle out of Spartan for that one. So I have a joint of Endgame that I rolled up before I went over to Bake's house today because we were doing RC cars today. So I'm going to smoke some Endgame while we do the show. And Endgame makes me sleep. So hopefully this is entertaining.
I got
enough
Mac
that can
ones.
stay with.
In my bowl, so that might be in the same boat.
Mhm.
I want to tell you guys, Baked and Sequence, I was at the park today with Anything Rose, and there was a guy there with a RC. It looked like about a monster truck. It had some big fucking wheels on it. And we got talking to him, and he said he's got like 30 of them. He's been doing it for like 30 years. And they said that just down the street, we were at Ellis Sharp Park Baked. And he said just
Oh,
down
you
the
were
street.
here?
Yeah. And he said just down the
Man, we
street.
could have had a party.
And he said just down the street from there is an actual course that they've got built, like a club. And they
Oh,
said that
okay.
when we gave them the land, they just have to put the work in, he said. And so he says it's hard to raise money for it. He said, but with everybody just throws in on their money or throws in and works on it and fixes it up. And it's like a course to go use.
That's pretty cool.
We'll
Yeah,
have to figure out who
we'll have
they
to
are,
check
yeah.
that out. See if they're smoke friendly too, because we were ripping joints the whole time.
Yeah.
But you know, in the backyard, Spartan, I got all them logs for firewood in the backpack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you've been
and then I
lumberjacking.
then I piled the tree that I've been cutting up over that. We
Yeah,
just went
yeah.
over there and started grabbing logs and making ramps and paths. So now it's like a mini course, but
It's sweet.
Nice.
it was pretty cool. Yeah,
It's pretty fun.
we need
What
chairs.
cart
so
did
we
you
can
use,
smoke.
Baked?
I just
Did you
used
use the one you've
theirs
been
when
building?
they weren't
Oh.
using them.
You're
Mine's
using longer
still,
ones,
I'm
huh?
still building mine, but
That's why I was asking.
I swapped some parts around. I guess I can show it real quick, but and I'm waiting on some parts.
What are you waiting on?
Motor
My truck was
and
the
a computer.
#1 performer again today, so that was a good
Yeah,
day.
Porch was with us, and his truck was a little not as I don't know how to say it. He couldn't do as much as the Sequences truck,
Not as
but it was like a
competitive.
different class. To be
Yeah, it's
fair, it's a
built
different
to-
class.
Yeah, built to different rules. So
But I gotta swap some of these things around. See that link behind this axle? That needs to be
Yeah.
over here
Oh,
so that it's not touching the drive shaft. And then they told me on the forums I gotta swap these two end links so they're just facing a different way. But then I'm rocking and rolling, and we all have different brands, so it's all different, which means different like slight designs on this part. And so it'll be interesting because Porch, to be fair, Porch didn't have his. He's building one just like this, but a different brand. He didn't have that out there. He had his smaller truck.
he is
So-
building one of the same specs as mine and Bakes, but he doesn't have his ready yet either. So
Yeah,
I took the lazy way out and I bought one that was already put together. So mine does run when we go out to ride, and
yeah.
theirs stay at home. So
Yep.
we're working on that.
You know what we saw this past summer, which was really cool, was a borosilicate RC car demolition
Yeah.
derby.
Big like glass, yeah.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine driving that.
and then it was a demolition derby. So they
Yeah, I
spent
saw
all,
it, yeah.
all day building it, and then all night smashing them.
And like
Yeah.
coating the glass, that doesn't happen in one day.
They do that at
It was really-
Champs
it was
Glass.
live. It was really cool.
There's an event called Champs Glass Games they do every year, and actually the nationals or the world event just happened, and the guy that won 20 grand for making the best pipe. But they do a borosilicate derby there where guys will make a car or whatever, and then they smash them together, and whoever survives the whole thing wins some money. So it's kind of one of those things that the glass artists like to do.
You gotta be talented to keep it together. DOG says.
Glass is obviously not supposed to be smashed, you know, but if I make a marble out of borosilicate, I can bounce it off of a concrete floor or bounce it off a tile and catch it in your hand. They're really robust when you do it right. So it's a measure of a lot of skill when you can smash them into each other and not break them, as you know, because how easy it is to break a pipe.
I think that's crazy to spend so much time building something and then smash it for
Oh,
It's
fun.
kind of a weird. It's kind of a weird flex though. If you're just trying to say, "Hey, look, I can build some tough glass."
That's true.
It's like I think I can build a stronger piece than you can build, and then I'm gonna put my
Yeah, it's
money
like-
where my mouth is, and
Yeah, like put your work
Yeah.
right up against mine, like literally.
Smash them.
it's such a guy thing to do to just smash things together and see what happens too. So I can understand why it's a thing for sure.
Just a bit.
I'm surprised they don't like light them on fire and then smash them together.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's an idea.
Be entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when I was a kid, I would build little drag cars out of Legos and smash them up against the, wall.
Just smash them into the wall. I thought I was the only kid that did that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Red, it sounds like you're sitting in a porta potty or something.
He is.
I'm with the dog, so
Oh, okay. This is the weird echo. It sounds like you're going down a
to the
tunnel.
side over here. He's not.
The dog is having a lot of a farting situation going on lately. Like, cannot stop farting
I
from
was having a
probiotics.
Becca. I was having a conversation with Painted Lady, and I was saying I wish that I could fart more often. And she couldn't believe that I
Have some probiotics.
was wishing for such a thing. So
Yeah, eat up on the probiotics. That'll get you going.
probiotics is the key.
Probiotics.
Probiotics, man.
Okay, I'll give
The
it a
dog
shot.
stands up and he farts. He like coughs and he farts. He moves.
Buy cans of beans. Cans of beans. That'll do it.
Yeah, I want to fart like a lot more often. You know, it's satisfying to do.
For
Airs
fun.
and Solids.
It is fun.
Yes.
I knew you'd
Yep.
agree with me, Becca.
We're not
Somebody in chat tag.
farters. Maybe he is in private, but we don't fart a lot of each other.
Tarek says eat avocados. Avocados must be a trick. Get that fat,
For farting.
I guess.
The
Lady says Becca, stop giving him advice.
she can hear me from the other room, so she knows we're talking about farts right now.
Well, you don't have to fart. Just don't do
Eat some hard-boiled eggs too, Sequence. That'll really spice them up for everybody.
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm gassed out. Cheers, Painted Lady. All right, what's some cannabis-related stuff we can chit-chat about? Spartan, how are the seed projects going? I know you've shared some germ reports and stuff like that. You want to talk about any of that stuff?
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of shout out to all the testers that are testing the seeds for me. I've sent out I've got a list of over 50 testers, and because I wanted to get a really big range of information, but a lot of them are getting back with me. Germ rates are all really good. Most all of them are 100% germ rates. There's a few I think that are like 90%. And then most everybody's in veg, but there's been a couple people that have flipped a few over into flower, so that's exciting to see some start to, get into the bloom phase. Me myself, I've got all of them in veg still that I've got going, but I've now had both my, let me see, what is it? The Snow Devils, both are female. They've already showed pre-sex. I'm waiting on one of the Spartan Pukes. One looks female, the other one doesn't show yet, so that's probably a male. And then I have some Project V that I'm trying to sex still. But other than, I think I'll be putting those in. It's likely that I could probably get them as soon as a couple of weeks, probably into flower myself. So that's exciting.
100% germ is pretty exciting. That's a great step one for a seed project, is to get a lot of seeds to grow into plants. Some breeders don't manage that, and then they just release those seeds anyway.
Well, I was lucky enough to just say, I didn't make a huge announcement that I needed testers because I knew there'd be a huge amount of interest probably, and I don't like turning people down. So I just kind of hinted at it, and people started reaching out. So these people, I think, were mostly pretty good growers to begin with. So that really helped the situation there, I think, too. I don't know if any of them are like really new growers.
You want to have a range, right? You want to
exactly.
through the ringer. You want some tent growers, you want some garage growers, you want the whole
Yeah, it's like one of the people just sent me an email today with some burnt up plants, and they said, "Oh, this will be a stress test because
there
I
you
think
go."
with Dr. Zyme, they used Dr. Zymes at full. They didn't know it was a concentrate, so they just used it at full blast and burnt the shit out of their plants. So we'll see how they bounce back. So it's good to see some of that stuff.
Yeah,
Dude, my mic
underwater them.
My mic is like covering that the corner of the screen. I just realized your beard, dude. That is fucking amazing.
Thank you. My girl, Anything Grows, hooked me up with a bunch of wooden beads and braids. So they're braided, and the wooden beads fished over top of the braid to hold everything down, and
Yeah,
it keeps my beard from going out like this. And
Especially
I lost my comb today. I'm coming a little scraggly after my shower.
We got a question about one of your projects here, Spartan. What is Project V?
Oh, Project V is what I'm taking. I've got an old pack of F1 Vortex from TGA Genetics. And so I've got 2 males and 2 females out of that pack, and I threw them into a tent, did a little mini preservation project, open pollination, and made seeds. And that's what I'm calling Project V. I don't want to use the name Vortex just in case, because I know that it's an established company that might trademark that name, and I don't really want to step on their toes. So I'm just calling it Project V to not try to name bite or whatever kind of allegation the next person wants to come up with. I just want to preserve the genetics. That's what my plan was. So that's what I did with that, because I love the strain Vortex.
Cool.
So what are the parents? The parents of, it's just Vortex times Vortex. So the parents are Vortex. It'd be an F2. Unless you're talking about the parents of Vortex itself, and now I'm already forgotten. It's Space Queen, and is it Apollo 13? I believe it's Apollo 13. I think it's Space Queen and Apollo 13 is the genetics of Vortex.
No, Spartan, remind me. You said it's an F2, but what is the difference between an F2 and a back cross? Can those be the same thing?
No, because an F2 would be, so like when you do your initial cross, that's in the F1 generation, and if you pick 2 plants out of that and cross them together, you'll make F2s. That's what F2 is. A back cross is if you take a cross and you make some seed, and then you grow out some of those F1 seed. We'll say, it doesn't matter. We'll say a male and female, and you go down and you make F2s, and then you take one of those F2 seeds and you go back to one of the original parents and you cross it to one of the original parents of the F1s, the parents of the F1s. And that's a back cross. You're back crossing back to the original genetics to try to lock in a certain trait that you selected for in those parents when you selected them. So you're selecting for them in the seeds on a couple generations down. You're selecting for that same trait. You're selecting for it, and then you go back to the original parent plant to try to lock in all those. Because as you're selecting for that trait, you're sifting out the traits you don't want, hopefully, and then you're going back to the original genetics to get that vigor back, that hybrid vigor.
There's you can essentially have a back cross at any kind of F level, though, right?
Yep.
Okay.
With the feminizing, for sure. That people will do back crossings instead of doing a back cross like what I just explained. They'll do what they still call a back cross when they use like a silver product, like a colloidal silver or STS, and to make a feminized. That's still considered a back cross as well, because you're crossing it back onto itself, its own genetics.
Ethos would call it. They have kind of their own naming conventions for some stuff. So they'll have a back cross 3 or a back cross 1 or a back cross 2 to kind of explain how far they went before they back crossed it.
One of the I think it was 3-legged dog back cross I got from, I think, Malik Spider, who was working with TGA back in the day. I'm not sure what he's up to nowadays, but he maybe it was 3-legged dog. It might have been something else, but it was a back cross and it was BX1, and I always remember that BX1 on there because I'm like, I had to look up at the time. I had to look up what BX meant, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't popping too many C's as it was, but learned that, and I guess I never really thought to figure out what the BX1, what the one was.
It's always good to me when a breeder will put more information on the
Yeah,
pack.
100%. I agree.
It seems like nowadays they're putting less, to maybe make it more marketable or more legible or easier or whatever. But I don't think less information is ever good.
Or maybe it's just they have that much variety in the strain, the beans they're putting out, you know what I mean? That they don't have some concrete evidence of, all right, this is a 63 to 65 day strain, you know what I mean? This is a 60 day to 80 day strain, you know what I mean? We're probably getting a little bit more of that nowadays.
Or they'll always just say it's like 8 weeks, no matter what.
Right. They just take a week. Yeah, they take out like a week off or 2 weeks off.
Yeah, and you're like, I know you're
everything commercial.
So I like when they say 9 to 10 weeks or something. You're like, okay, that's pretty realistic.
Yeah,
what a flower period is going to be. And then you see that they still took a week off, and you're like 11 weeks in, and you're like, damn it.
I was gonna say, even when I see that, then I'm like, all right, are they trying to bullshit me and try to sell me a quote unquote sativa? Oh yeah, it's an 11-week strain. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I got Hermes in week 10. You know what I mean?
Like,
yeah, and then some of them will fool you because the trikes never really change, and then they're like, oh shit, this is way past due, and it, that's why you got to look at more than one thing, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose if I'm buying a strain, from a breeder, I really I want consistency. I want to know what I'm getting, you know what I mean? But there is the beauty of like finding something different and new and variable, and to me that's the exciting part of a pheno hunt. If I was pheno hunting for something specific I wanted, it probably wouldn't really be a pheno hunt. Either I'd be going and seeking out that clone, or which is got its its own risks in and of itself, which to be honest I probably wouldn't be seeking out a clone because I just don't take too many in.
I've always kind of talked about this as like the perspective of like who is popping the pack of seeds and what are they looking for. So like if you're popping a pack of seeds for like a field grow and you want 1,000 plants, they're all very similar, you might purposely look for like an F5 or something like that, you know what I mean, for more of a stable genetic.
Right.
Us that are growing at home, where we are actually pheno hunting most of the time and looking for a good plant that we can keep, we're looking more for like a lottery type pick. So like your F1, your F2 is more desirable for us because you're looking for that outlier.
Literally rolling the die every time, like that's kind of what it's like being a home grower.
Yeah. So you can buy your seeds with intention if you have the knowledge of what all that information means and kind of get what you're looking for. If you want a very stable pack of seeds, you can definitely search for that.
Though, now that I think about it, I've never, maybe this is just this probably says more about me as a grower, honestly, than anything, but I've never found a strain that I pheno hunted that beat out one of the strains I got as like a verified clone from a verified source type of situation. And it was one of those, hey, Clementine, granted lime skunk I pheno hunted and garlic punch I pheno hunted. But Clementine, Durban poison, grapefruit Durban, flow,
I've seen it happen just as many times the other way though. Like how many times have you gotten a clone and you're like, this is not what people say it is,
honestly, not too often because I don't bring in too many clones. I think the only strain that I brought in the last 3 years was the Cobra Milk from Spartan, and it's because I know him. I know he's a good grower. I know he's going to send me something quality, and it's not going to be full of mites or powdery mildew or whatever, and it's going to be something worth keeping because he knows what I like too. But that doesn't happen often at all, at least from my grow. But it's a risk, it's a risk tolerance thing.
I know I got stuff like runts and I'm like, wow, I can pick a better plant than this, either it's not a great source that I got the clone from, like that's possible, or the strain's not as good or whatever. But sometimes you find some really good ones and sometimes you don't. I do think there is a lot to that. Like obviously GG4 got popular for a reason, GMO got popular for a reason, Mac 1, etc. But sometimes they just don't do it for me anyway. Like if Baked got jealousy, he wouldn't be excited.
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I see it work because luckily we can pop. We pop a lot of seeds at work too, and we obviously get clones. But yeah, I see like we have hit and miss on both ends. There's stuff there that's been there since I've started working that was definitely hunted by seed.
With the
By
Han Solo
them.
burger. That's
Yeah,
a real popular one there, and that was been popular year after year too. There.
I think the hash plant too. The Han Solo hash plant was TJ. But yeah, and it is like it's like a hit or miss. Like I don't like jealousy, but the general public does. But then we got jealous bananas. Nothing like jealousy. I like that. That's a cut. But it's interesting to see. I think it's
You're
just
still running Super Boof. That was a cut.
hey, we're still running that. I'd say we had probably more cuts slightly, but it's just slightly.
How many
You
different
can
strains
also-
are we talking? Like 30?
At least,
Probably,
not if
yeah.
not 40 or 50.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, we've gone nuts with the seedments.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
Speaking of
So
Super Boof, real quick, I just want to cut in here. I know someone's brought up Point Break a couple times.
ooh,
This
Ooh,
is
Clement
Clementine
Break.
mixed with Point Break. And someone told me today at the craft fair down in Detroit, the Third Eye Craft Fair, that it reminded them of Super Boof. Was it?
It was
I
me.
was gonna say, was it you or Becca? Maybe.
Yeah, it's either Super Boof or like Rainbow Belts or something that I've smoked.
Oh, that's what you said. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
One of those. It might be Rainbow Belts, but
But Point
we
Break,
have
man, that strain is
packs
pretty
of
impressive.
yeah. I got some from Winewood a while back, and that was delicious. So
It's,
I can imagine with some Clementine, that's a really good compliment. I bet.
Yeah, Tropicana. Someone looked it up for me. It was sitting in front of my booth today because I'm like, I know it's Tropicana cookies with something in there, but it to me it's like Tropicana cookies and Tangy. It's so orangey. It's just, I mean, it like complements the Clementine just so perfectly. It does make it different, like a little more sweeter, soury kind
almost
of.
doing like a pine sap.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Yeah,
getting
there's
like
something else
I
in
got
there.
some Point Break from Indica Bee, and it was kind of like berries to me.
Which point? What is it? Whose point? I got Point Break on Seed Finder from Karma, but they're really old. I wonder if it's the same cut.
Isn't that like a
'Cause-
Val Kilmer movie?
But I agree with Red. Did you say pine red? Did you
Yeah,
say
like
you got?
pine
Yeah, I
sap.
got a little pine in there too. I agree with Red on that too.
It's a little citrus, but like more
if-
on like a pine.
If it's this Karma one, it's skunk number 1 times SFV back cross number 2. So
Yeah, I don't think it's that.
On a different
I'm not sure
resource,
who.
I found Trop Cookies and Trophy Wife.
Yep,
that
that's
sounds
it.
about
That's it.
right. By cause isn't
Yeah,
it by
that sounds
Surfer?
Yes,
Seeds?
I think so.
Yeah,
Doesn't
that's
say.
yeah.
Because it was someone I hadn't recognized, but I'm like, I've heard of this strain a few times recently, and this show being one of them. And then I got offered to, collab on it, and I'm like, well, what's it? What's the profile like? I look it up, and it's like basically Clementine. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I know what to try that with, But yeah, it came out great. Had some good response on that today. But I mean, it's got it. I can see that kind of pine when you first open the jar. But after that, dude, once you get past that initial pine burst, it's just straight like Clementine to me. And it rips my throat apart when I take a big dab of it. I'm not going to lie.
Really nice. It kind of reminds me of this old throwback weed that I had smoked years and years and years ago. Too long of a story to tell it, but there's a story. There's definitely a story. Involves mushrooms. And
I mean, we got half hours of hash time, and I better go get my not my cowbell, but well, maybe I'll grab the
Your
cowbell
triangle?
today. Yeah, maybe we'll do
Point
the cowbell
Break.
today.
Point Break was
Oh,
Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes,
When
man.
they've got the president masks and the
Yes, yeah.
surfing.
You know why I remember that movie? Isn't that the movie where the cops bust in and shoot a guy in the foot and they show it? Like his whole toes get
remember.
blown off and everything.
Oh,
That's what I think happens.
I don't remember. I don't know.
Yeah,
You
I'm
remember
pretty-
that?
somebody in chat will remember. Yeah, they finally get in trouble and dude hides behind the door. So the door gets slammed open. And I think he shoots himself in the foot by accident or something like that.
Does his foot like get stuck under the door when it swings open? That'd be a motherfucker. Like a
Uh,
door shim. like a foot door shim.
Yeah.
He's stuck between the wall and the door.
Oh, you just get stuck. You'll just be there. I can't get the fuck out. My foot's stuck under the door. What the fuck? You gotta like break the door. Fuck.
Yeah.
Shoot your foot.
But
Yeah,
it's like a
take
tourniquet,
shit.
so when you do get the door out, the sprays.
Oh yeah, all over the door.
Every time I stub my toe, I feel like that's what happens.
And then when
Yeah.
Steven
Like,
Seagal
oh
comes
my
in,
god, my toenail just got ripped off.
For real.
Yep.
But nope, it's always fine.
What was the there was some volcano movie that came out probably like late 90s or early 2000s when we were a bit younger than we are today, and that was the first movie I saw where a guy broke his arm or whatever, and the elbow, like his bone was sticking out of his elbow, and it was the first time I saw it on screen. And it scarred the shit out of
Maybe
me.
it was Dante's Peak.
Dante's Peak, that was it, dude.
or
I saw that too
What was
young.
I came across that Faces of Death shit when I was in school.
Oh, jeez.
I
God.
was like, this is some gruesome stuff. What's going
Yeah.
on?
A little bit of
I
that
would-
mixed
I
with
must
some
have
Lemon
been,
Party,
like-
and it's you were born in the
Yeah.
80s.
Like 12, 13 years old when I saw that. Oh, teach you some things.
I'm glad you brought up the craft affair for Growly. It was a fun shebang today. Let's see here. The owner of the
Becca, could you move your mouth while he talks? It would make me more comfortable.
Perfect.
Thank you.
owner of the pledge.
Hold on, how do you think we feel when you walk away and all of a sudden you're on your wireless headset, dude?
Well, now I know, but I don't have anybody I can't tell my dog to come over here.
I mean, you could try. You should try.
You should at least put a face on your
He's
chair.
not moving.
DOG. It would see my lips moving, and DOG would be making the noises.
Oh,
Okay, your mouth isn't moving.
You're doing a terrible job at this.
Anyway, these are great. You guys should check out for Girly down there. He's pretty cool and makes these cookies and fucking badass.
Yeah, we got to go to Ohm's Dab House for this week because the Fledge wasn't open this week, but it will be back open next week. We won't be there next week.
Show us your cookie, Becca.
Okay.
That might be my cookie if there's a little tiny
There's a
bite.
little nibble.
That's my cookie for sure.
You had such a small.
Show us that cookie.
He's a microdose kind of guy.
Drive. I don't like it. Like
He doesn't trust my untested edibles.
Hey, he still remembers how
But-
he looked like the clean puke out of his fucking vehicle. He
I
knows
was
that
like,
that's
those
right.
are serious terps. Immediately, I was like, that's like biting into a nug.
It's
very-
actually they're so
It's like,
good.
yeah, you could taste the actual the flour. Like it was weird. Like it just went right into my nose. It was more of an experience than anything.
Yeah, dude, and that's why I made him 50 milligrams because, like, you know, even if you take a half bite, it's like, well, for most people, it's not going to wreck you, and for those of us that are like, you know, regular daily smokers or whatever, like 50 milligrams probably isn't going to destroy us, and so you can really pop that whole cookie and really enjoy the whole experience of it without having to be like totally destroyed on an entire package of edibles, you know.
Totally.
We've heard that before.
Yeah. The big reason I didn't smash into it was because I was getting well, you guys know I was getting a headache. I was talking about it. But once I hit sugar, if I do sugar with the headache, it's like I already had to take ibuprofen, but I will smash this fucking thing. No,
Yeah, it's light brown sugar. There's also granulated sugar, but it's mostly flour. I mean, it's a it all turns to sugar
That's so
basically.
what's your favorite kind of sugar?
Enjoy it.
There's a lot of sugar.
Probably brown sugar,
I
just
do
because.
like brown sugar.
Yeah,
I
I
like
mean, you can
powdered.
make candied. Well, that's what I was. So the
Good.
frosting is essentially powdered sugar, food coloring, warm water, and terpenes.
Yeah,
That's literally
yeah.
all that is. You know what I mean? But you know, for this one, like I usually do like an orange zest or lime zest for the clementine and lime skunk. But this one, I actually took dried blueberries and pressed them into the sugar to like zest it, rather, you know, because you can't really do it with I guess if I use whole blueberries, but I didn't want to use like a whole juicy product that adds all this like water weight to it or whatever. So I used dried blueberries, and I was still able to like kind of press out the juice and kind of color and you know, flavor the sugar or whatever. But the orange and the lime, man, like when you're pressing that into the sugars, like that bowl of sugar when I'm done with it is like I could just eat that, you know what I mean? It's just orange zest or whatever. So it's a fun little experiment though. I think it turned out pretty well with the garlic punch. I do think that the lime skunk and clementine are a little bit better because to me it's just weird having the garlic flavor in a sugar cookie, but it works out, you know.
It's barely, and it's like in a good way.
Mhm.
It's
It
I like it.
has okay. So I wanted to say that it tastes like a weed cookie, but that's not what it tastes like. It tastes like, because that tastes more grassy. This tastes more like the full flavor of the yeah, I guess the dab. It doesn't taste
You can taste the
waxy.
terpenes.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't taste like bitter, like a weed tasting cookie tastes, right? You know what I mean? But you get the flavor of the cannabis, and it's like that's why when I bit into it, I was like, "Whoa, Becca!"
I heard that. That was intense.
I
That
know.
Jeez.
Every time, dude. She's just on.
Dang.
Stop blaming me. That was
We're live. We're live, by the way.
It was like this fire reaction at the same time. Poor guy.
He walks away.
He's
and
embarrassed.
him.
Aw,
Oh,
poor
man.
Diogy, he's embarrassed. Or he's just crop dusting you
Yeah,
guys.
he's not those.
Yeah.
Good.
he
Yeah, he's like, I know what that's gonna come. I'm not gonna sit here and smell that.
Yeah, exactly.
he
Ran
can't
away. He knows
hear
what's gonna happen.
anything, and so I don't think he knows he's farting.
He
Oh,
doesn't know how loud
Telling
it
me you can't feel that? I mean, I think we all feel it.
I don't
I'm sure it's
know.
relieving.
I don't know when I'm farting either.
It's
It's
just
comforting
slowly
for sure.
walking, farting all the time.
We talked about why earlier, Sequence.
Exactly.
Say the probiotic. It's a good probiotic.
I wasn't here for it, but I can make a guess.
Oh, I guess that it's already been answered in chat. I was gonna say Stares at Plants was asking where us Michigan peeps get alcohol.
Oh, yep.
I go out of state and source alcohol.
I order mine from out of state.
Mine magically shows up.
Ta-da!
Mine too. It's
Steak.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's the last bite.
Oh, steak. Was that Kobayashi?
Yeah, right. Just a Costco steak, one of them 4-packs, you know.
Oh, hey.
I can't believe you eat meat. How do you live with yourself?
Mhm. Your
It's
weekly
okay.
steak
It's cat, the other white meat.
Oh,
We had
God.
steaks
Oh, yeah.
tonight. It was
Is that wild raccoon that's been coming in your yard lately?
Yeah. It's dry aged for the last 3 months.
He finally got the chicken coop
Salt
culprit.
cured it in your barn.
No, I cured it right in the compost of the chicken shit, actually.
Do you think you could one-on-one take a
Back to that stuff
raccoon
3 months later.
100% I could. I've done it a few times.
with no weapons?
Oh.
You can eat that IMO, you know.
I mean, it might
Right.
come out of it with rabies, but yeah, I do.
I think I could.
I mean, they get pretty loud. You can kind of know when they're coming and like when they're running and stuff. But
If you can get a hold of their tail, you just swing it around and beat them against a tree, man. And they're
I was-
done.
I feel like if you get a hold of any of them, anything of
I
them.
was listening to Ozzy Osbourne talking
Not
about
like coyote.
shots in an
Must have
interview
experience.
in 1982 when Ozzy Osbourne accidentally bit the head off of that bat and he had to get a series of rabies shots. He's like, I'll tell you what I won't ever do again. Bite the head off of a bat because I don't want to get rabies
that.
shots anymore.
I think that, yeah.
I think your shots are good for a while.
Fuck.
Yeah, I don't think they do that same shot anymore. I don't know. I never had to
Really?
get a rabies shot.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
pretty
when he
intense.
bit the head off, that was the 70s or 80s. So
it was
it's
like, yeah, early
Oh no!
80s.
I mean, a
I
decade
think-
ago they were still giving those wild, like giant needle shots. As far as I'm aware.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I just stay away from animals with rabies.
Yeah, if they look angry, you just go the other way.
Yeah. You
Rough
can
it
tell.
up.
Look in their eyes.
Like, can you
They got
imagine
crazy
being used
eyes.
to, like grabbing rubber bats with your mouth and then all of a sudden bite into a furry one and be that's not what I'm used to.
He's still going through with it.
He said it was really salty.
Ugh.
It was really salty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Raw bat is salty. However, a bat house for
Guano.
guano wouldn't be a bad idea, but I wouldn't recommend possibly using them for food unless it's dire need, I suppose. But it would
Dude, you
make,
try to create the no
fertilizer.
COVID strain or something.
and they're gonna help out with them. But
He's always working on some sort of scheme, isn't he?
He really is.
well, I would take care of the mosquitoes so that they don't have to
Bats
What do you
are-
mean take care of them? Like give them blankets?
hopefully eat them. Like take care of them like take them out to the cornfield. show them a shovel.
Show 'em a
Like, show them how to
shovel.
plow the fields, or
Dirt nap.
Bats. We need bats so that they can eat the mosquitoes.
yeah, no, build a bat house. We have
Build the bat
I
house.
think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
one. I need more.
They're so cool.
Just don't bite any.
Have
of
you
them.
seen? They're like
Just don't
kind of
bite
ugly,
bats.
but like when you look at them, Like-
Very ugly. They look like
I mean, they're
mice.
little vampires. Yeah, they're vampire mice with wings. Like, they're nasty, but you know,
Exactly. They're fucking gross.
I don't like. I hate mosquitoes more than I hate bats. Put it that way.
I used to have a house where bats would get in all the time.
That's
like
annoying.
twice, 2 or 3 times a year, I'd wake up and there'd be bats in my house.
Like they can't be dirty, right? They're all their shit's on the
Yes, they
They're
can be
very dirty. They bring you fucking all kinds. That's why you have to get
Bats
rabies
make you
shot.
It's
sick.
like up
All
and
kinds of viruses.
down. Like,
best case scenario.
Bats are full of heavy metals.
oh, the
What?
metals.
They were one of the leading. They were one of the animals that carried the most coronaviruses too.
Are they
Yeah.
going to? Do they want to bite you?
I don't fucking
think
know.
so.
I don't want them to be
don't
around
think
me.
so.
It's when they
You
get
know,
trapped in your like house
Yeah.
though and stuff in your rooms. I mean, I got a couple stories about bats from college, but one fraternity, like there someone might have potentially been bitten one night because there was a bat that got loose in like their sleeping area, and their sleeping area in this house was a common area, so they were all on like the third floor to, you know, with all their beds in the same room or whatever, or on the same floor. And so they all had to get rabies shots.
Oh man.
Dang.
The whole fucking fraternity that slept there, you know. The other story I could think of was one had gotten into our house, and one of the guys that lived there had called like the school like maintenance department, and they showed up with a giant nail on the end of a broomstick and just stuck it to the wall and then walked it out. And I watched it happen at like 7 a.m. before my classes, and I was so blown away. Like that
It
just
sounds like a
happened.
completely different experience.
Why
Yeah,
not just like
yeah.
a butterfly net or something?
Dude, he was not taking chances like us. He
fucking
I
don't
mean, it might
get-
have
you
been a
don't-
silver stake spike or something. I don't
You
know.
just left you with the bat mess to clean up.
Bats
Don't
are
There
have
awful.
was
taste
not
of
much of a
that.
mess.
Here's
Trust
some
me.
bat guts.
Bats
gotta
are
chase 'em
awful.
after
You just
that, that's
don't want
for
them in your
sure.
house. That's all.
Yeah,
God damn.
better than getting rabies shots, I guess. But yeah, that was
They don't get immune to that either. Yeah, that always works, I guess.
That's true.
really.
It makes me
That's good
wonder
to
if he
know.
had that tool at the ready.
I feel like he did. I
Like
mean,
he
I don't
used it for some other shit too.
for
like,
sure. I mean,
Oh,
maybe
that's
picking
my
up
snake
trash.
bat
Or,
or whatever.
yeah, right.
That's only
I
for
mean,
the
it's-
vampire bats. You gotta give them the steak.
It's literally a silver nail, guys.
Go get my snake broom.
Isn't that what how they kill vampires?
Silver
Is it like a wood?
nail? You're
Yeah, is it-
dead in the fantasy world, dude. Silver
There you go.
nail?
This guy gets it. Yeah,
It's
he
a
gets
wooden
it.
stake for a vampire.
Wooden
Silver's
stake.
for werewolves.
Through the heart.
Werewolf.
Through the heart.
Yeah.
You just grab them
Golly.
anywhere. You gotta
Dude, I don't
Jeez.
know.
Do you want to play D&D? Because you're going to be easy meat for a
No, I
DM.
don't want to play it.
Yeah. it's gonna be
Okay.
hilarious.
Oh,
I'm
I was
staying
just
far away from that.
Silver,
decade.
you
I'm
on
good.
the
Silver's
list.
still a werewolf, though, man. Silver.
Now, League of Legends on the other hand.
What
I'll
about
see you
that
after the
silver
show.
nail, man? This thing fucking fuck up a
We should-
werewolf pretty good.
I think it's like kind of crosses over. Like some things that silver does work for vampires. I've definitely seen that.
Maybe collide
Yeah.
silver.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
reverses and
No, you're just gonna feminize it, dude.
feminizes vampire with
It
vitals.
just feminizes the vampire.
You remember in
All of a sudden
Underworld,
pregnant.
they had bullets made out of light to shoot the vampires with.
Light,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they
light
had
bulb,
UV
yeah.
light bullets.
Amazing.
Excellent, excellent.
I'll just turn my grow lights on and the vampires will be fucked up.
Yeah,
Be like, bam, the fuck out of here.
I think it would be cool to get like just a handful of like silver 9mm rounds just in case.
Just in case.
A
Just
handful. How expensive would that be?
That'd be super expensive.
I mean at least a magazine worth, right?
You're talking like, what's an ounce of silver these days?
Six
Probably
shooters,
crazy.
Minimum of 6, just in case for a 6-shooter. How about that?
But just
All right, ounce of let's do
several
this.
$100.
Ounce of silver. Hey, it's gone down. It's $21. So ounce of silver. How much does a what do you? Let's say 9 mil.
9mm. Yeah, you need to
147 grain.
gotta cast it.
What's that?
9
about?
mil. It weighs,
I don't know what grains is to grams, but
I gotta find out how many ounces it weighs.
Google will tell you.
5.75 ounces for a
Oh,
115
it's-
grain. That's
that's
115
brass.
grain.
$100 a
It's gonna
round.
change. You got to convert brass weight to silver weight.
That's so much math.
No, you don't. Weight is
We're
weight.
doing it live.
Weight
Weight is weight.
Weight.
We're gonna take ounces of silver, melt them down to be the same size as that
Weight can be variable.
brass
with
bullet.
Weight can be variable.
But
the
volume, you're
density.
talking volume, not weight, dude. There's a
Yeah.
difference.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
so it could be give or take a little bit, but
Density,
you guys are, we're not going to get to that on this show. And I don't think
So it's
anyone has
around
the math
$100
skills to
a
get
$100
there.
a round.
Cool.
But yeah, we're talking $100 a bullet. So you're talking,
Sorry,
one
guys, I
bullet.
was thinking
Just
subsonic
a
rounds.
bullet.
yeah.
Can you just look up how much a silver bullet costs? Like I feel like.
Oh well, maybe
That might be a
actually.
thing already.
Silver,
yeah,
9 mil.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
You
So
don't have,
look,
like,
Werewolf Defense Line.
It's gonna tell you all about
Werewolf
Coors
Defense
beer.
Line, $150 for 45.
That's not bad at all. That's
pretty good.
basically
Well,
how much ammo
how
costs
many does
nowadays.
it include?
Is that a
Michigan-
single?
That's a
Michigan
45.
is
Is it 45 bullets or a 45 caliber bullet?
45
Yeah,
caliber.
there you go. Yeah, it's
45.
probably
You pick the caliber. I'm trying to figure out how many it includes.
Oh,
I think
Probably a
it's just
20
one.
round box. Oh, you're probably right.
I don't know. Yeah, but they're out there. So
Is the gunpowder made out of gold
Yeah,
spec
go
dust?
for a 45. I mean, if you're gonna take down a werewolf, you might as well use like a good old 1911.
it's one
just get a
round.
50
One
cal
round.
Beowulf,
150 bucks.
see, we were pretty close with our guesstimation.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what caliber on this website.
All right. So you need to.
They're
you
pretty
need to put-
though.
You need to put that one like towards the bottom. That way you can like slow it down with the brass and then finish it off with the silver.
Well, I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
the
You ever
brass
shot a
is gonna
9
do
millimeter at a
anything.
bear? It's not gonna slow it down.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I
If
don't
it's
know
a
if you're-
werewolf. I
Well,
don't.
yeah, I guess it's,
I don't know. I think a 9mm would go through
we're
its
still
skull.
using the 1911 and we got that 45 round.
You should always aim for the headshots. Zombies.
Yeah, I guess that. Yeah. So what about zombies? Do you think silver's any more beneficial for
No,
zombies?
no,
Definitely
no.
not. No, it's
Zombies,
just
you want
a
the
waste of your
cheapest, most
resources.
available.
Just a headshot.
Yeah,
Except
like-
Yeah, just
22, I'm
Shoot 'em with
afraid
rubber
22
bullets.
you
They're
wouldn't be able to
fragile,
work.
dude.
Rubber.
Wouldn't be able to work with
Yeah,
it.
they're fragile. You don't even need metal. They're like
If
already
you could
halfway.
get-
to
You're
deteriorate, but-
talking about months old zombies. What about fresh
Yeah.
zombies? We're talking the
Oh,
outbreak
freshy.
just happened. These things are dense.
I mean,
Yeah,
how
we went
how
full on
quickly do you
late
think I'm
fresh.
coming out of my compound when the zombie outbreak hits?
Well, that's
dude?
true. Well,
Rubber
the thing
bullets.
about
I'm gonna be
zombie
here for a
outbreaks
minute.
is for girl you don't know.
For girls,
You're
what
out-
kind of
you-
Costco steaks do you have
Getting
in
your
your
you're
house?
You
getting
don't
your
think I
Wago
know
beef
when the grid goes
and-
down
and
and
you're
the
at
news
Costco.
anchors are scrambling to get off the air and get home.
You're
How
at
many
Costco.
steaks do you got in your
And
freezer
guess what
right
happened
now?
at the Starbucks next door? Old Billy, you had
Starbucks.
a
There's
little
no
cough and
Starbucks
cold.
around here.
Dude,
And now
I'm
there's a
looking
Some of this
someone
Starbucks
has
is bad.
Costco.
I-
Now you're stuck in Costco. All you got is a 4-pack of beef.
Dude,
And
alright, can
you need to
hold
get
on.
home.
Can we make a
4-pack of
serious
beef?
pact here? If there's ever a zombie apocalypse, the whole MBGS crew, we need to meet up at an Amazon warehouse. That is the place to defend for the year, I guess,
Yeah,
because that's
right,
going to get you pretty far, I think. Auburn Hills is looking pretty good to me, or the
Just
old
need a
Pontiac
boat.
Silverdome one.
There's
You know?
too many people.
there's one
there,
right down the
man.
road
Too
from us.
many
We can,
people.
Yeah, I won't see you there.
I'm really on this whole zombie kick right now because there's a new show that's also a game.
Last of
So,
Us.
yeah, and it's
It's a good one.
we kind of
Walking
like it.
Dead.
It's kind of
Yeah, it's a
good,
good one.
Pretty good.
but it makes us think about this because we just think about conspiracy theories too
I
much.
got-
you know?
I got another one. If you guys have been watching that, watch Station 11 on HBO. It is amazing. It's actually has a lot of Michigan references because they're like the traveling symphony, like kind of the main cast of the shows in a traveling symphony, and they basically travel around the around like Michigan. So they, a couple towns get brought up, but like there's also like fake, towns of geography or whatever as part of it too. But that's a really good drama, kind of more oriented apocalypse, dystopia type. Not, I guess maybe not dystopia.
Yeah, I
but
missed
more
that one.
apocalypse.
I gotta check that out.
It is one season, and they vowed to never make another
Yeah,
season.
they
of
call it
it.
a mini series, which
Yeah,
means
dude, it
they,
is-
yeah, that
it's-
sucks.
It is the one. I mean, if I could put one show at the top of my list of something I wanted more of that I just knew I was never gonna get, it's that show.
Okay, I'm excited. Got something to watch this week.
Yeah, when
Not Sopranos, not like Newsweek.
Oh,
I
so
think
it's
No,
those are
like,
dude.
good.
Okay, so Sopranos. I actually just started that again like 2 days ago while I was
Did you say
eating
the
lunch.
news?
yeah. This guy is
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
Newsweek.
insane.
Newsweek, that one that Jeff Daniels did.
Oh,
that-
okay.
yeah, that was
okay,
pretty good.
okay. I thought you
good.
said
Newsroom,
the
I think it
news.
was.
Like,
Newsroom, I
Newsroom.
think.
Yeah,
nobody
Newsroom.
wants to watch the news.
Do that? Yeah, I forgot about that one. That was pretty good. But like same
Oh,
with like
oh,
House of Cards. Like House of Cards was great, and then it just like took a shit and they just stopped and like Kevin Spacey and all that weirdness. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah.
it's HBO, it's Netflix.
I
it's the
miss,
big one.
we were talking about work weeds. All the houses, all the houses.
I got through a
Yeah.
season or two of that.
But yeah, that was a good one. We need more cannabis shows that are quality.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because a lot of them, to me, are like.
All right, High Maintenance. That's another one that was like.
Okay, that was a good one, and it kind of
yeah.
ended.
Well, I
Or is
mean,
it still
I don't even
going?
know. I don't know.
Let's
So
see.
I watched it back. Like I was buying it on Venmo way back in the day. Like I don't know, probably.
Give
close
the
to a decade
chat a
ago.
rundown of synopsis.
So High Maintenance is essentially this one character that lives in New York, and he goes around just selling weed to these people throughout New York City. And every episode is basically about the people that he's going to meet and then their life. So he's kind of like the main character of the entire series. You know, this entire, I don't know, it's like 10 seasons or series, like
It's
whatever. they
4
wanna call it.
seasons. It looks like they're not gonna pursue a 5th.
So, but if you go on Venmo, like even before they hit HBO, because they got picked up by HBO, I don't know, 5 years ago or so, they
Is it
produced their
Venmo?
own. Or not Venmo. What's the
Vimeo?
what's the V? Vimeo. Yeah. I keep saying Venmo.
Oh,
Vimeo.
okay.
Yeah. So I bought it on Vimeo way back in the day, and they produced a few like kind of cycles or seasons or whatever on there before they got picked up by HBO. But it's essentially this one guy that goes around, makes all these weed deals, and it's about the lives
He's in
that
New
he
York
kind of
City.
encounters. Yeah. And it's I mean it's wild, just all the different like
Yeah.
situations he finds himself in. But they're anywhere from like 4 to 20, maybe 30 minutes per episode. Literally 4 minutes are some of the early ones, and it's a great fun show to watch.
Yeah, it's like a dry comedy. Like
yeah,
it's not a slap you in the face comedy. You're gonna have to think about it because the guy,
it's like a skit show.
he'll go with his,
Key and
and he's got a
Peele or-
briefcase, and he'll go and like deliver somebody, knock on
his
the door,
bike,
and it's a
with his
fucking orgy.
helmet.
It's an orgy or something like that.
Right.
And it's like, well, he's the weed dealer. He's got to make his sale to make his rent. So he's got to go into this orgy and talk to these people. And oh wait, where's my money, honey? Shit like that, like
Yeah.
just random
or like
dry
a
humor.
feminist TEDx talk, and he's like sitting in there as the only guy. He's like this white
Yep.
male with a beard, and like
They're
and
like,
it's
fuck
just kinda
men and their dicks.
yeah.
And-
But then he joins and like it has fun and like they accept him and like
Yeah.
every episode is something different like that.
It's pretty
Because,
good,
the
yeah.
places weed will take you. You know what I mean? It's kind of like
That's
the
another
synopsis
good
of
one.
that.
But yeah, I like to see that cannabis is becoming more prevalent in shows, and kind of just nonchalantly too, like just
Mhm.
like alcohol has been
Right.
forever. It was just like, let's say a kid's talking about his dad, he's like, yeah, and then he went to the dispensary or something, or what was this one show I was watching, Tulsa King or something,
Tulsa
with
King.
Rocky, what's his name,
Yeah.
Steven.
Not Steven Seagal. Don't you dare.
No, I know.
Don't you
I
dare.
know. What is Stallone?
Best
Yeah.
use-
He's playing, and he goes to Tulsa, and he takes over a dispensary
It's
basically.
an
and-
Oklahoma mafia, like
yeah,
mobster guy,
it's
right?
interesting, but
I don't
it's
watch it, I
just
heard him.
it's cool to be seen. More it's out there, the more it's accepted, the more it's gonna
Well, remember the 90s and the early 2000s are probably way before that, but speaking of my era at least, like smoking cigarettes was like makes you a badass, makes you cool right
Yeah,
on screen,
yeah.
like brings
All
you this
the old
different level of
ads.
character. Dude, now what I'm seeing with like a lot of like the newer Netflix type shows or like the kind of more recently produced stuff, everyone's hitting vape pens and shit, and it's like that's like
Yeah.
cool, like separates you out. I'm a vapor, you know what I mean? Like I've noticed that, and it's kind of. I wonder how long that's gonna last before that kind of phases out too. Just
It doesn't even. It hasn't even phased in my book for really.
It's in like
Yeah.
the pop
It
culture.
hasn't even phased in,
Like-
and it never will be. If you see, if,
I think
if I
he's
see
talking-
you with a big
he's-
pen,
He's talking mass, people's,
Like, Euphoria. That pop
Right,
Yeah,
right. I'm
yeah,
talking like popular shows,
exactly.
like stuff I'm gonna come across. I'm no like
the mass.
cinema
But
nerd,
I don't know. I honestly feel like people are gonna get tired of that pretty quick. I think people are catching on to dabs. I think people are realizing you don't have to take a glob like the guy you saw take
Well, I
a
think
glob
the
and
vapes.
die.
I think the vapes are still super popular.
They're
Super
just
popular.
so convenient because they don't leave a smell on you like a joint.
Well,
You can
same
put
thing
them
with
in
the cigarette
pocket.
side of things too. It's
Well,
nicotine
You
too.
can work in a
Right,
restaurant, pop in the freezer, and hit a vape so fast.
I should know. I should know that I am kind of sidetracking here because I'm not. I should correct myself, Bakes, because I'm not talking about specifically cannabis vapes. I'm talking about like nicotine vape
Oh
pen. Like
no!
the new cigarette seems to be a vape pen, but it's like it's not like I'm a badass. Like it's like I'm the alt character. You know what I mean? That separates.
I see what
them.
you're saying.
So I've noticed that now. Again, it's like cannabis, like alcohol, cigarettes, like all these things have their like kind of place in cinema, but that's one of those things where I felt like they've stuck it to a certain character. I don't know if they've done that with cannabis, other than like like the Seth Rogen crew and that kind of that kind of stuff. But
I was
it seems to be
surprised
more widely accepted.
how quickly they PSA'd vapes after vapes started coming around, nicotine vapes. I was surprised to see how quickly billboards shifted from DUI and alcohol, and they went to, hey, don't vape, nicotine, it's bad for you, blah blah.
It's
And
probably
it's,
the
and
tobacco companies.
to me, alcohol has gone completely under the radar now. I don't ever see,
Yeah.
don't drink and drive, and that's what I grew up on, slammed into your face. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and do bad shit, basically. And now it's like I don't see anything. If I see anything, you're right. It's some nicotine vape shit.
Hey, have you seen this
And
one? Here's your
interesting.
sign. Don't drive high.
Oh, I have seen that one.
I've
Yeah,
seen
that
a few
one.
times.
That one makes me laugh every time because it gets me, and I'm like, ha ha!
Oh shit!
That's not a good idea to take my eyes off the road on your joke, but okay. Thanks.
I think that MAD is a national foundation. and
Oh
might be a
god,
nonprofit,
don't get me started on that.
and I
dude.
think that they've changed their
They might have like it's
They've changed their focus onto cannabis. I think it happened quite a few years ago. And that might
Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Yeah.
I
That
could
is,
see that. I could see that, but I mean,
they were a big formulation
I don't
behind a lot of
Misuse
that
I don't
stuff.
think they're making a dent because people are
stirring
just
the pot though. that's for
swamping the
sure.
dispensary. Yeah, it's always gonna be pot stirrers.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's you or just the name behind it. Like even as a young lad myself, I'm like the name behind it. It seems like a good thing. You know what I mean? Like we literally, I remember getting lanyards in school with
Oh,
the
drunk
MADD on it.
driving. Oh, not drunk
It
driving. I
reads
swear,
like one of
didn't it
those-
start as Mothers Against Drunk Driving?
Yeah.
The
Now,
funny
so
thing
now
about
it might
weed-
be Mothers Against Drugs Driving. They changed it to.
Drug
That would
driving,
be.
yeah,
that would
there's-
make
Expensive
sense.
brand change, but you know,
That's what
cover
Stairs
it
of
all.
Plant said.
Yep. It
Huh.
covers-
Yeah, that's I don't know from what I maybe I need to look back into it, but from what I understand, that's a lot of
I always thought it was bad
misuse of
marketing.
Misuse
I
of
just thought it
resources.
was bad
yeah.
marketing because I used to watch Mad TV. I was like, oh, and this.
Yeah,
you
there's
got
an
some-
extra
you
D,
got some
though, you
funny
know?
skits.
You're not
Yeah,
just driving, you're
but
drunk driving.
Mad magazine.
Yeah.
I had a handful of those, man. I had some Mad magazines.
look what I can do.
Me too. I thought that shit was funny.
Hello, my name is Simon.
Stuart.
Or yeah, Stuart. And I love to do drawings. Is that how it was? Oh my god, it's been so long.
Oh, the chick that had the gloves on all the time. She was fucking hilarious.
There's so much shit. I was like, there's the Asian lady, Mrs.
Mrs. What was her name?
Swan. Mrs. Swan. Yeah.
Swan.
Swan, yeah.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
So was that like the competition to SNL's? Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was, and like I used to think they kind of failed, which they did. They're not around.
Yeah.
But if you look around and like read credits and shit, all those people are in major comedy shit now.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
they're,
sure.
they're writing like your HBO comedies or behind it, or they're so they're all over or they're doing
But,
stand up.
You know, it's funny. Mad Magazine has a longer history than SNL.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But no one reads magazines anymore either. That's
Yeah. So
media.
I wonder if the creators of Mad Magazine had anything to do with the rights of the show. They had to have.
Yeah, I'm at some point, but you never know with corporations. They're really
Right.
good at like, here's a penny. Now
Yeah.
we have the rights.
The Spy vs. Spy I was always a fan.
Oh yeah, that shit was
Even in
awesome.
comics, in the book. But I was gonna say when we were talking about the drug driving. Oh, it was a hash.
Oh,
Good call.
nice work,
With the
because
triangle.
I totally forgot.
And since it's hash time, it's a good time to talk about that. If I'm ever too high, like if I ever smoke too much weed, right? Too much edibles, like the last thing I even think about is like driving. You know, I can barely like I'm like freaking out about like the function of my hair growing too fast being a problem with maybe, you know, whatever. I started thinking I touched too many chemicals that day or some stupid shit. You know what I mean? Like I get in my head so heavy when I smoke too much weed. The last thing if I got in my car, I'd have a panic attack. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
I can understand like
that's because you're responsible, and not everyone
guess you're
makes that
responsible.
decision.
but if I was drunk,
Some of them are like, "Oh, my girlfriend's gonna get pissed at me. I gotta get home."
oh man.
Yeah, there's all kinds of shit. So,
Yeah, oh, I know, but I just feel like it's just a bit different than alcohol because I've definitely like driven.
oh, I see what you're saying. You have a better thought process to
Yeah,
get there.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
like-
for sure.
when I'm high, I'm like, I don't even want to leave the couch. You know what I mean? Let alone,
Didn't they do some study on that? I feel like CNN came out with some study in like 2015 or earlier that like compared, you know, drivers, whether or not they're high. Yeah, I think that was more like propaganda than anything, but I think ultimately it's like, yeah, the stoners just drive a little bit slower. You know what I mean? It's like they're like more defensive. Just
No,
not that
yeah, I
they're,
think they did a legit study on that. Yeah, and it was average.
they had like a
we drive
simulator and
slower.
everything.
So yeah,
I definitely get more anxiety. Like I don't really. It's uncomfortable sometimes to drive. I'm like way too anxious for this, but I can do it. I just try to limit that.
yeah, feel the anxiety that'll come
I
on.
think it's well, I don't
The
wanna
state,
promote it.
remember the state famously did the study where they couldn't
Yeah.
find a correlation between cannabis intoxication and driving impairment.
yep.
That's right.
That's
I
why
would
they're
argue
having
at
so much
times-
difficulty.
Because there's
I
two
would-
variables.
Dude, sequence, that's so crazy that you bring that up. I remember where I was at driving when I heard about that.
I was like, that's major news, and then it kind of just went away.
Yeah, nothing ever
Yeah.
happened.
I would argue though that that it could work the other way. Like for example, I'll keep one like if I know I'm going on a long trip or something. I'll have one rolled up even though I don't like to drive so much or drive and smoke so much just because it's like one more thing to keep my hand distracted. But I keep one in there because like I get road rage really easy. So if somebody like cuts me off or does something to piss me off, instead of getting mad like I used to, I'll be like, time for my joint. And then that takes my mind off of whatever is pissing me off and gives me a task to concentrate on. I can light that joint. I can pop the fucking roof, you know, and start smoking and just completely forget about what was pissing me off. And I'm not flying down the road like a madman wanting to fucking, you know, tailgating somebody and wanting to fucking push them off the road.
Baked in this fucking Honda.
Yeah, not making people try to fucking blow their engines trying to race me on the road.
Oh, is that what you do? Not getting your passengers almost killed in front of Menards?
Oddly specific.
I don't know what he's talking about. I don't even have a
Allegedly.
scratch on my
We were
vehicle.
talking about it because we went to Claiborne's the other day. Right, I went, hey, you see that, Ash? That's where I almost died.
That's what he really said was, you see that? That's where we passed you slow asses on the way.
Oh. Yep. Well, that's a good method to have because, yeah. Spartan and I had that in college. We're definitely road ragers. I wish everybody it's not like we're road ragers, like flicking people off. It's like, get out of our way.
Just being annoyed
Just
constantly, dude.
drive pay attention and drive normal. Yeah, everybody's annoying
You gotta let
on
that.
the road.
Oh man, let that shit.
That's why the
Well,
weed. That's why
It's
the
like
weed
used to.
is
It's like the reason the roads would work great if everyone would follow the same fucking rules. If we could just agree,
Just pay attention to the rules.
if we could just
Well,
agree to follow the
it's-
same
I
fucking
try to
rules.
zone out.
Classes at 14.
I try to zone out and just stay in a lane, and then you either here's the two options: somebody's in the fast lane blocking you, so you have to like slam on your brakes, thus taking you out of the zone. Or you're in the slow lane and my car automatically matches the person in front of me if I'm on cruise control. So next thing I know, I'm 55 miles an hour.
Yeah,
It's going to take
yeah.
3 hours to get there. Fuck. Who goes 55 on a highway in Michigan? But I've been working on it, so now I just chill. I do a lot of dabs before.
So you're in a
And,
different type of zone. My zone is driving the entire time. That is the zone I'm in, not just chilling, hanging out. My zone is like I am driving. I just enjoy
That's
it.
what I used to be, and that's where it comes from. So it's like you can't be in that mode.
What do you mean by
Like-
driving? What do you mean by that?
He means he's constantly in race mode. He's constantly like, let me get ahead of that
Oh.
getting on the highway before he gets in front of me.
He's in constantly
gonna pass you.
12 miles.
I see him. Nope, not today.
So he's on 12 miles an hour, 12 miles to the gallon mode is what he's what he's in.
100%. Yeah. If that. Yeah.
That's what I used to do. Exactly. It's like Haas Farm said. What's the hurry? Like most of the time, you're gonna get there on the Google time or better. Not
Dude, 100%.
Actually, 100% of the time.
No. I took. Okay, I probably shouldn't even say this. I had like a 53-minute trip the other day, and I took 20 minutes off that Google Maps time.
Holy fuck!
What's up?
Yeah, you were hauling because I like to go over a little, and I don't take 20 minutes off a trip.
But if I'm driving by myself and there's, no one on the roads and shit.
Bro, you were going 100 bajillion miles an hour.
A bunch of
By my math.
Math checks out. We did a lot.
Yep, math checks out. But no, yeah, that's the thing I learned. What's the hurry? So I'm always early for shit too.
Yo,
I'm always getting there early just to sit in my fucking car around my car just to wait in anyways or something. So I just chill and yeah, it's much nicer. The music helps too. I put it on chill station.
Yeah, music influences me. If I'm playing fast-paced music, I'll drive way faster. If I play slower music, I'll slow her down.
That's why I have to listen to podcasts while I'm driving and like music while I'm working. I guess I do.
Podcasts are great for your longer trips to keep you awake.
I use podcasts while I work.
It's every trip for me is an hour plus, so.
Yeah. You can get a lot of audiobooks done in that.
That's probably what I should be doing. I feel like I'd be so smart.
Bro, I got through almost one chapter in my book upstairs, like a physical book. I have a problem where like I'll go to read and page later it's like a drug. Yeah. And I'm just like, okay. So I'm working through this slowly, like, and then I downloaded the audiobook. I got through like 5 chapters in a garden sesh on my fucking audiobook. I was like, holy fuck, I'm doing this from now on. Because I want to know what happens in this story. This is the 3rd time me starting this book.
Is it like fiction or nonfiction?
It's fiction. It's
okay.
It's a Warhammer series, but
okay. See that I feel like that's something I could listen to and not have to necessarily like take every part in.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain shows or right, like when your movies you watch where like you have to concentrate. It's not like you can just kind of like use it as a back burner type of situation. You might watch that same type of show 3 times and not even realize it. But if I'm watching like I'm sit down and watching a movie or something, and then it's worth coming back and watching again, I'm probably gonna see new things because it's like that intense of a mind focus. But if it's not, then those are the great work ones. That's why I like podcasts, man. It's just like listening conversations without having to participate. I'm sitting in there with the plants and me, you know what I mean? And not a whole lot of people to talk to anyway.
What I like about it when I was listening cannabis podcast, you'll be out, you kind of zone out sometimes, but if they say something that's related to your mind at the time, like or that's on your mind, that's when it'll bring you back. You'll be like, wait, what did he say? Let me go back 10 seconds, and now I'll listen from here. And then, because that'll happen a lot on the more informative podcasts. But
or even though the Sunday or the Saturday morning like wake and bakes or the Monday nights, like I catch those usually a day or 2 later, and I'm it's usually while I'm working, like get that hour and a half in, and Like, wait, hold on. Where's my phone at? Like, what did Spartan just say? Like, I gotta go back. But it's something that, like, yeah, it's related to like what I'm doing, what I'm learning, what I'm practicing and crafting every single day. So I think that's a little bit different than just maybe like an interest,
Yeah.
like Warhammer. If you're not like doing that every single day in, day out, like it's a little bit different. It's just more like just kind of fill the gaps, like kind of it's more entertainment, I guess, than education.
Well, that's
Does that
why
make sense?
I'm trying to get entertained as I'm doing my, 10th gardening hour of the day.
Right.
Instead of worrying, I don't listen to. I'll tell you, I don't listen to Canvas podcasts while gardening anymore, because we talk about it at work enough, and like so when I'm here at home, I'll turn on it's like usually like Glass Cannon podcasts I've mentioned before, where they're playing D&D or something like the audiobook like that. A little different these days. But yeah, it's all whatever, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty, is it's all in your pocket. You can just be like, well, today I'm gonna play cannabis shit or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yep,
Yeah, shoot. Sometimes I'll have like some like Yahoo Finance or something playing on the TV, and I'll have my headphones in with like one of the MBGS going or something like that. Because you can always just look up, and catch whatever's happening.
I've been playing Forza, racing game, and I've been trying to play that while watching movies and shit. And I was watching. Speaking of movies you rewatch, and there might be shit you catch. I rewatched Cloverfield Paradox, but it's like the one where they're in space.
Is that like the third or fourth one?
I don't know how many they have. I
one.
only knew they had the one in the city with the monster, and now this one they're in space, and it ends with the fucking monster.
When did that come out?
I don't know.
It was on
Netflix or Amazon. It was on Netflix.
Did you see the one that's stuck underground, where they're in a bunker?
No, see, that's what I'm saying.
That's another one.
I like those, and I was like
it's
trying
not
to.
Called Cloverfield though. It's called something else, but it's part of the Cloverfield.
Oh, I remember hearing about that, but never seeing it.
Really
I think.
Good. Yeah, it's John Goodman and.
Okay.
I can't think of who else is in it, but
we gotta look this up.
In a bunker, trying to like stay away from radioactivity and shit like that.
It's 10 Cloverfield Lane.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Wasn't that the one in the city?
No.
Or was that just Cloverfield?
Cloverfield, yeah, and then Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, that's those are good ones, but the one in space is crazy. It's just crazy.
Paradise.
I'm not gonna spoil it
came out in
anybody.
2018, so 10 years after the original Cloverfield came out.
Yep. Okay. Yeah,
There's
and so
just those three, I think.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. But yeah, so I watched that one trying to play Forza, and I smashed into some walls, going like 250. But yeah, so it doesn't always work when you're using the ones that you pay attention to versus ones you just kind of like action movies. You don't really have to pay attention, too much. Like
just bing bang boom.
Especially these old timers that are making just trash movies.
Dude, okay, so that's something I noticed. I feel like we're bringing back a lot of these. So my wife and I were talking about rom-coms recently, and how like a lot of the rom-coms from like the early and mid and even late 2000s, all of those actors and actresses seem to be still the same actors and actresses playing the same kind of roles nowadays. It's like they almost haven't found like the new stars yet. Is it just me, or is it just like they're just
I think it's almost like people keep going and watching those fucking movies, so they just keep cashing paychecks.
That's a part of it. And it's that like it's South Park did. It's Member Berry. They're cashing on nostalgia.
I remember.
And then to me it's like why a lot of people like I hate to get into it, but like why they complain about boomers, like politically, like they don't want to let go of power. So I have a feeling that these celebrities that made it know all the contacts, have the money, just keep. And if you look, they're the producers of most of this shit.
Right.
So they're hitting up their other
in the role, writing themselves their own role.
And never wanting to get out of the limelight. It's like, yeah, because I'm with you. Like, retire, direct, do something else, and let the next crew in. It's getting very stale. Like everybody likes the Yellowstone because it's got Harrison Ford and Kevin Costner. They're trash. They're the worst roles, in my opinion, they've ever been in. It's like one-liners and stuff that they've obviously gotten written in to look cool, but I don't know. It's definitely a weird era of creativity. I think we're in with
Or
video
lack of
games,
creativity.
Hollywood, and
Yeah,
I don't know,
video games are
music.
another
I
one.
think music's a good. I think we're in a good era of music because we have shit like
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
Yes,
Exactly.
there's a reason. But okay, so I mean, how many people are out there?
Hollywood's a psyop.
All the creators that are out there creating new content for us to consume in terms of video, though, that's all YouTube, right? Like we're all on YouTube
That's
right
true.
now.
That's
So
true.
those creators aren't getting into those bigger roles. And then when it comes to video games, that's all. I mean, that's all been mergers and acquisitions, dude. Think about, like,
Exactly.
Blizzard, Activision, like those were not the same company 10 years ago. Like even
Yeah.
before Blizzard or shit, I can't even think that far back. Like in the 90s, it was a totally different company. Blizzard consumed another company and they just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Same with EA Sports. It's all the same fucking game over and over again and just
Yep.
rehashed out with different names. And so it's, I don't know, there's just such a lack of creativity. I would compare EA Sports with like the Marvel franchise.
Well,
maybe
you realize,
it's
for
just-
Gurley, what you're describing right now is the same thing in every industry. Like the same things happening in
That's,
Canada.
yeah.
But that's
There,
what
where
he's
there was a
saying,
lot of
and I'm
craft
agreeing.
companies, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what we're
Competing to
saying,
get all
yeah.
squeezed out to one big one, and it's the same story in every fucking industry.
I think eventually it'll crack because I mean, like people, I've heard people recently in the last like 6 months we've discussed like, oh yeah, this shit's fucking just boring. They're just rehashing shit. I've been saying it at least since South Park's at least done it, but I've noticed it forever because they made a whole fucking episode on this about member berries, and no one listened. And then that was 10 years ago, and everyone's like, well, shit, this is kind of the same. Well, yeah, fuck. But it is what it is, and if you enjoy shit, you enjoy shit. So who am I to tell you not to enjoy it? But
dude, that's the
I
thing.
just wish I'd like to see some more. I don't know how to put it.
Innovation,
HBO quality, yeah, like
just
really put
creativity,
into it.
quality
You can
produced.
tell when somebody's singing a song with effort and one that's just kind of a repetitive poppy thing. You know what I mean? With soul. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
you can also tell it when somebody's put effort into a plot, writing, and filmography, you know, and
Yeah,
directing and all that.
the whole
And I think
production, man.
it's fewer than more now than it used to be.
You know who's the director that did? Is it David something? The director of Social Network.
I don't know. The Social Network. That was the
Yeah,
one where they
dude.
showed how Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell me the director's name because he's one of my favorite directors, and he's one of those guys.
David
that, like,
Fincher.
Fincher, yeah. I'll follow his movies around, man, until he falls off or produces some garbage or something. But he's had a lot of good movies, and that one sucked me in. Maybe know a director's name for the first time ever. And it was just a really compelling story. And regardless of whether or not you like Mark Zuckerberg or you have any interest
Oh
in the
yeah.
Winklevoss Lost Twins or whatever, it was a really compelling story. And the way it was filmed and produced, and like it just sucked me in for the entirety of it. And it was one of those few movies where it felt like it should just be a documentary, but it was so much more than that,
Yeah.
What I've been hearing lately is that all the content you have to look for TV shows. Movies, I think like they're the only thing that's making money right now are big blockbusters. And so that's like pretty much all we're getting because people aren't going to the movies as much at all.
Yeah.
It's like
And so I
culturally
think-
condition you.
I think that it's just like they're struggling to make new stuff. No excuses. I don't care, whatever. But I think that's what I've been hearing lately.
Like for instance, as like a geeky nerd guy, I've been kind of really disappointed in the whole Marvel universe. Like to me, I understand demographic and hitting everything for everyone, kids and stuff. But maybe you could do like a rated R series of like or something a little bit more serious. And then because it's been the same thing since Iron Man 1. It's just
Right.
one liner, a little bit of CGI action, one line. So like
A lot
I
of
don't know.
CGI action.
And to me, it's totally turned me off of stuff like that, or like Star Wars. I liked the original stuff. Disney's killed it for me. I don't even
Same, dude.
bother, and it's not like I'm complaining. I'm just saying it sucks. It's like, come on, put some Gus
if I
into
didn't
it.
go
I don't know.
to, I don't know what. So I'm not gonna even say the specific number without the risk of upsetting someone. But whatever Star Wars, the last one I saw, I wanted to get up and walk out of it, and
You
I
should have,
would
they're garbage.
have had it not been for the fact that my entire family was there,
Yeah,
including my
yeah.
brother, mom, and I
And
didn't
the
have a
thing
ride
is, you're-
home
the
otherwise.
kid- The kids are enjoying it. The kids, it's still good for them and shit and stuff. So it's
It
like,
was
all right.
trash,
And
bro.
that's all I ask though. Then is you have the ability to make separate series, and that
Right.
like you can advertise not for kids
I
or
mean,
something. I don't
does
know.
Disney have to really buy the rights on the
And that
the
thing,
entire
they-
name of Star Wars? I guess that's their thing. That's what they do. But like,
Well, they spent
Bro,
enough
are you,
on it. They
bro, are
spent
you
billions.
complaining about a big major corporation taking over a big conglomerate of
yes,
Yeah,
I am.
an industry?
Fucking
Martin's like,
monopolization.
again.
It's bullshit. It's not free market. I hate it so much.
Yeah, it's rough, but
And if I had that much money, I'd do the same damn thing. No. But
Disney
I'd
and Hollywood
actually
are
put a
too-
focus on creating something, not just consuming it and spitting it back out, regurgitating it as something new.
So let me ask you something though. Do you watch Disney movies? Do you support Disney in any way?
The ones that my 2-year-old watches, yes, I watch
There you go.
occasionally.
There you go. They still
Yeah.
win, man.
Yeah.
They still win.
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
but
someone's
he
paying
can
for that
vote with
Disney
he
Plus
can vote
account,
with
but
his
it's not me.
dollars.
exactly. I'm
His
not
wife
paying for it,
can
someone
be
is.
like, "Hey, new Star Wars movie came out, and Mama's taking the kids. You want to go see it?" He can be like, "No, I don't want to go see it." And that's
No, stay home. It will just.
and then
make
he
our
can
own
go see
entertainment.
the Moana or whatever with his kids. It's like
The
you
300th
can still
time on
pick
HBO.
and choose. I think
You
I
can
don't
go see
know.
the new
Disney
300
Plus, I
movie
don't
when
know.
it comes out.
Is there one coming?
No, I wish.
Oh, I was like,
Oh.
and the sad part is I
So
shouldn't be getting excited because that's a fucking rehash. Stop rehashing shit. But that would be
Exactly.
crazy. That would be crazy
It's-
one. But
that
they
was a
kind
good one,
of.
though.
I don't know if you saw the second one. It kind of sucked.
I didn't.
I
and
agree. The
didn't wanna
second one
ruin
did
it.
suck.
Yeah. So
No, I thought the first one was so
I
good.
think
I'm
it was
like,
a
there's
different
no way.
director and stuff.
It's all the
This has
same.
been a
it's
late
Sin
sesh.
City
My
guy, right?
goodness.
It's a Sin City guy, right?
I don't know.
I don't know if it wasn't. I think it was.
I think it's the
you're
same
right.
producer
was
and
very-
director from Sin City.
Yeah, and it was very shot like comic book esque.
Yeah. That kind of
very
like
graphic novel,
Rise of an
not
Empire.
decolorization, but no, I mean even the first one, whatever the original 300 was, I think. And
The
actually,
original
Sin
thing is
City
one of my
was.
favorite movies.
I like Sin City, man. I didn't
I
see
don't
that
think it
until
did
like
Sin City.
8
I
years
don't
after
even
I
remember
saw it or
watching
something.
Sin City. I don't know if I've seen it all or not.
Which one was Sin
But-
City?
Was it black and white or no? I
Yeah,
can't
That's
remember.
what
black
I think
and
it
white,
was. Oh
Mostly
yeah,
black and white,
I
yeah.
didn't. That was Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. That was a weird one. I hate black and white shit.
Produced and directed by Frank Miller and Robert Rodriguez was Sin City.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder says for 300, so I guess it's not.
Did I have a mini
know.
dirt bike racetrack? I
Really?
wish. Where'd that come from? I wish.
Bro, I'll tell you what though, you should go to we were at it wasn't Cascades Park, Ellis Sharp Park today.
Yep.
And you should go there, dude, because there's like a gigantic open spot that you could just open that thing up and just go as fast as it will go.
Yeah. Yeah. We were doing that. Sequences truck is a roller though, so you can
It's a
go
roller.
fast, but you better keep it straight because the moment it turns,
Yeah.
it's rolling. But it's set up for rock crawling, so that it's not supposed to.
What was cool, this guy when he
Sure.
brought his out, there was this big spot that looked like it used to be like a baseball diamond. So there's this huge like sand area. As soon as it hit the sand, it was like flinging sand everywhere.
Oh
and
yeah,
fucking
they'll get
rolling
some.
and
What do they
shit.
call them? Sequence? Y'all call them today? Rails, flinging rails.
Sand rails.
Yeah. Yep.
Slinging rails.
Yeah.
Is that like
But,
a Mudden term?
I guess. Yeah.
We were hanging out and slinging rails, guys.
It's fun
It sounds
stuff.
like you're just doing lines of coke. I mean,
Well,
Oh God, I wish. No.
this guy.
we were
we were,
partying like that.
We would.
Cheers, Katie Red.
I showed him the grow. Nothing new there. I'm still waiting on HVAC. I gotta get these timers out. I got pick up one. I don't know if I'm gonna go with the Spartan ones though, because
The
that
what?
means I have to drill the Spartan timer boxes.
Oh,
You
Yeah,
want
shit.
to run the
like,
you want to
Pretty sweet,
hardwire it.
bro,
Triple
for an
triple
amateur.
triple B sent us one in the PO box. We gotta go get it.
Okay.
But the thing is, if it's gonna be in the room, so that means if we want to change the time, we have to be in there. And I don't want to drill any holes I don't have to into my walls, and I would
Yeah,
have
I
to drill
agree.
that into the
Agreed.
ceiling. So I'm
Why would
probably
you drill
gonna,
through the ceiling? Why wouldn't we be able to wire it through
Up
where
through the
the
wall.
all those wires went through already? Where you got that tube?
because it
Going through the
plugs into
ceiling.
a 240.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
It's the
It's
box
like a
plugs
80
into a
amp or something,
240, and then it's
60
got
amp.
4 plugs. And
Yeah.
so
Oh, yeah, okay.
yeah,
So it's like
yeah,
the Helios or whatever, like Helios.
yeah, it's like that. Yeah,
That's
same
fine.
company, Titan something,
Yeah.
but it's Spartan series. But yeah, so
Yeah,
I
Titan
don't know.
controls.
So we're waiting on that, and then I gotta get this damn HVAC guy to get his ass over here and pull this tube out of the fucking mini split.
Hold on, how else
So
would you run your light? Like, how else would you do a lighting controller?
I'm
What's the other
what
option?
I'm gonna do is go in the attic, take my circuit, that wire from the light outlets. We're gonna turn off the breaker, cut it, then we're gonna drill down through the hallway ceiling and put a timer on the wall. So the light on one end will go in the timer, and then the other end will go to the breaker, and it's a digital time. We have them at work. I'll show
Mhm.
you. Um,
I think it's probably the same thing. I'm using the Helios 12 for my. It's an 8 light controller, so it operates.
this is what we
2
have at
different
work.
timers.
This is not the same thing. This is like almost
Yeah,
like a
this
mechanical
is
timer.
electrical. People use this for, you can use this
Okay.
indoor, outdoor, anything. It's, to me, it's a better option. Let me share real quick sequence. Whoa, which screens? 2. So
How many
this is the
screens you
one we
got?
have at work.
Oh,
And
interesting.
see, let me see if I can.
Wait, so there's not like GFIs or anything. Like, there's not switches in there.
No, I
That's
don't
all
know
this
what's in there. There's wires down here that go
right,
right
chip
here.
behind that on the top.
Yeah, there's a
and
clear
then,
plexiglass thing, and you wire certain things in here. I know at work we have like 5 of them wired up out of 6. But this one is the big one. The other one I'm going to do is the DTU. I'm trying to see if this will work. Stoney was saying this one might not work, but there's some other options I was looking at. But it's the
Hmm.
same thing. It just doesn't have a clear glass, and I think it's 40 amp instead of way more. Like at work, we have nine lights hooked up to it, and it works fine. The last one I showed you, but this one's
Mhm.
also half the price, so that'd be nice if I could
How many
get
amps
that.
was the other one?
Let's go back.
Because 40 is gonna be plenty for 4 lights, but
Oh yeah, I'm running 10 amps.
yeah.
So this one, you can do 8 AUG, so it's really high amperage. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm probably gonna go with, and that way it can be outside the room, and I can dial it, and yeah. So I'm waiting on that.
Why is it so necessary to be outside of the room? That's what I'm not really
If the
like.
lights are off and I want to mess with the time. What do you mean?
Hold on.
I'm not going in. I don't go in my room when
Are
the
you
lights
not
are
gonna
off.
use like a Troll Master or anything?
This is the equivalent of a Troll Master for $77.
No, it's not.
Why not? Why not?
It's not
Explain to
like
me
you
why.
can't hook it to your phone and all that bullshit, but it
Dude,
works
it's
as a
Yeah,
not
I
timer.
can hook it to
close.
my phone, which I don't need to. This is at my
It
house.
does everything we need it to do for sure.
This
I
is
don't need
this is
I don't
just
need
your
humidity
circuit breaker,
or
bro, and a timer.
what's wrong
It's
with that?
what?
Why do you need
That's
everything
the
else?
same thing as the Titan controls. I still have
No,
But this is $77.
this is
Titan
a
controls
hardwired timer
$200.
basically.
I
This is-
understand it's a different price, but I'm saying it's doing the same thing. It's just electronics instead of mechanical. It's not doing what a Troll Master does. It's very far from that.
What does a Troll Master do by itself?
Well,
If
it's
I
it's
just
a,
if
no,
I
it's a
just
control
I'm
box.
I'm trying to control
it's a-
my lights right now. That's all I said, right?
Right.
So if I'm getting a Troll Master, what is it going to do for me for the lights?
Well, it's a more of a growth opportunity, but it's going to give you the ability to digitally set the on and off times, the sunrise and sunset times, and all of those
I don't
things.
do sunrise and sunset. I don't believe in that.
Okay, that's fine. But that's just one thing, which is
Uh,
the start of it, which is the light, right? There's all the other
Uh-huh.
environmental controls that you can tie right into that Trollmaster.
For
That's what you need to put
more
outside of your room.
money.
Your circuit box, you don't need it. That's just a it's a lighting controller. That's not like an environmental controller at all. That's just a lighting controller.
Yeah, that's all I want.
So it's not a Trollmaster.
I don't need an environment controller. This isn't going to be a fully automated. I work at work.
But you're worried about turning
with-
on and off the lights. Why are you gonna? So that is your reason for putting the box outside the room. I don't think that that's why you have a
box is
digital
gonna be in the
controller
hallway.
outside of your room that controls all of those pieces that are inside of the room. That should just be there to turn on and off your lights at a certain time. That's all it's doing, right?
Are you donating a controller from Trollmaster? That's my point. It's $300 for just the controller without any of the humidifier.
Since when?
Yeah.
What? Just the Hydro X or whatever? Or
I'm looking at it right now.
Hydro.
Trollmaster Hydro X controller, $320.
God damn.
That's
Probably
without
just
any
that
of the
one.
sensors. That's without any of the shit. You set up a Trollmaster for all that. You're looking at $1,000. I just want to control my lights.
No, that's
I'm gonna
fair,
be
that's
there
fair.
every day, monitoring everything. At work, we don't even use our pulses. We don't have any of that crap, and it's all fine. So
Well, yeah, you guys have a whole staff of people though that's dedicated to that. You know, that's
It's not.
yeah, I
mean,
got a
it's
whole
not-
staff too. Me
live
and Spartan.
Yeah.
We're gonna fucking crush it. Like if you're there every day, I don't take vacations. I don't have the time right now, so it is what it is. But yeah,
Well, there you
for
go.
$77, I'm gonna control my lights outside the room. I can do that. But I mean, if you got the money for a Trollmaster, they're sick. But that's way down the line.
I actually had no
That's
idea
way
they,
down the
they
line.
cost that much, and I know for
Oh,
sure
they're
I didn't
so
spend that much on it.
green taxed. It's ridiculous
crazy.
because they're the same thing that electronic thing I just showed you probably is. Mechanically,
Nah, well,
there's probably
I-
a chip in there that's some really shitty coding.
yeah, I was gonna say
and-
if you could do the same thing on a Raspberry Pi, which is $35.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying.
You
So,
just have
like-
to code it yourself, which isn't difficult, especially
Yeah,
if
you
you're not
can
using
probably
all of the
hire a coder
utility
these
for it,
days on
and
Fiverr.
relying on updates and things like that for sure.
Yeah,
But-
that's yeah, but yeah. So I don't know. That's what I'm rolling with. But that's what I'm doing next, and then we'll be running. Hopefully this week. I gotta hit these fuckers up. Tell them to get over
These
here.
fuckers up.
Dude, yeah, it's like the oh yeah, I'll be over. And it's when you're not dealing with the the professional. I don't know how to say it. They're professional day job.
Licensed.
My
and
job isn't
insured?
When you-
professional. My
put it
job
this way,
isn't professional.
Put it this way: when they accept cannabis as a form of payment,
yeah,
Those are the
That's a
friends
good
you
sign.
need.
yeah, they're not on the clock. So yeah, but they do good work. It's just this is the hard part, getting them over here. But we're gonna do it, and it's holding cold really well. Like the hallway was really warm today, but then as soon as we stepped in the grow rooms, they were chilly. So that's good.
I feel like they're super nice, and ever since they put that when they came in last time with that foam spray, and they did some of those inside walls.
Yep.
I figure it's like even sound wise, it's like seems way more insulated and solid in there.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what it's like with the drywall. I want to start putting that
Yeah,
up. But
yeah, that should be awesome.
other than that, I got disco fries and flour here at the house. I don't think anything new. The Indigo Daydream, they're popping off, 9 of them. I think I'm going to order sex tests here soon and sex test those to get out of the way. Just so we
Nice.
know what those, since there's only 9.
You need a backup spot for those clones. You let me know. I'm willing.
Yeah, for
to
sure.
keep those around.
Dude,
Keep
I
it in rotation.
can't wait to show my clone racks. Spartan hasn't been over, I don't think, but I build all my racks in the bedroom, and we have
Go
so
ahead,
much.
Sam.
We have ungodly space. We could fit
5,400
20
clones?
clone racks or clone domes. We could probably fit. It's gonna be nice, or just
Nice,
storage and stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That's gonna be awesome.
There's never enough room, dude. I've 3 of
Yeah.
the like I don't know. They must be 6 foot tall by 4 foot wide racks. So I have 3 of them lined up together. So 6 foot by 12 foot. It's still not
Yeah.
enough space. I got shit in
Yeah.
rafters. Like
Yep. Yeah.
That'd be dope. That means we'll have
Actually-
good airflow too.
Red and I were talking today. We're laughing about our. We're like, yeah, you need any extra lights? We got some HPSs. So let's sit there in the storage unit. We're like, what are we gonna do with those? You can't even sell them. It's like we're just gonna have to start a museum one day. I'm like, this is
HPS museum.
what we grew like in the 2000s.
I'll just bury my magnetic ballast in epoxy. Put it in the epoxy block.
Yeah. Red starts
Get
the
it to
first
charm
cannabis
with
growers
200 mil.
museum,
That's what I'm saying, dude.
and it's like 1970s. This is what they were growing with, and then like
Who's
Got
got
the
a
then,
High
like,
Times
who's
magazine.
got a water hood?
1980s. Here's the
Got the water
90s, and
cooler.
then yeah, there's Red's epoxied fucking magnetic ballast.
Batwing. Who's got
This
a
was
bat?
grown with Red Setter Farms.
It'd be one of those like roadside attractions on the way to Las Vegas in the middle of the desert, like you see in the movies.
Yeah,
Like, where it's just-
exactly.
It's Red by
But
himself.
it's the middle of Michigan.
Stuck us out back, sweeping the dirt.
The first
Like,
one, the first like walking in, you would see like some sort of like gymnasium light without the giant reflector. It would just be like
T1.
a square
Yeah.
listing a bulb with some like maybe metal HVAC strapping or something. And then another one would probably be like metal halide or probably a 400 or 600 watt HPS from a parking lot or something.
right,
like
that's
that.
what I was thinking. Those parking lot
I
lights.
picture
Wires
I
and
picture
stuff.
animatronic or wax Red and Becca in a garden. Like you walk by this diorama, full size though, and it's like them, like
Here- Here's Rainbow Driver.
and like it's like
Here's-
Grateful Dead in the
here's
background.
Becca trimming.
Yeah,
Kind of videotape underneath a magnetic
Wow.
ballast, and it just like looks like you're watching like old school VHS tapes that are skipping and sliding away.
that'd be awesome. $20 a head, get in.
Worth it.
Yep,
Free join. on the
memories,
way out.
memories. Think of the memories, people. And you get free
But then-
nugs when you get out.
Baked, I put that blue dream into flour, and it is stretching for me, man.
Yeah.
Stretching, yeah, she's bolting up pretty good, and the stem rub is like real flowery smelling.
Okay.
Your potpourri
Berries and
like.
flowers. It's right
All
now.
right. Maybe the far reds do something. I also have mine getting beat up in front of the AC. So
Nice.
like I said, it wasn't optimal. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with your grow and in
Do
organic.
you find that? Do you find that that's a negative baked when they're? And do you mean when you say beat up by the AC? Is it just because like the fan's blowing too hard? or
I
is it
think
just
it's
'cause
the
too
fan.
cold?
The
Okay,
fan. I
okay.
now have a deflector. I got this like weird
Okay.
Chinese. It's like crane arms, and then it's got this weird deflector that you put on the end, but it now deflects it down and up.
Because
But
some of my
yeah, 'cause
best results.
I don't think the cold. I think the cold's great,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
but it was just I think the fact that it was getting hit by the fan.
And honestly, I think it's
Constantly.
the dry air too. I think that. has a-
Outside
yeah.
dry air in the winter. So yeah, that's a good point. But that's why I'm excited to see Spartan will do a good job with it, and I still have some, and I don't like smoking it. No, I don't. So I took all my buds that I wasn't really smoking that are like old. They're just all around the house, and one of them was that. It was like a half a jar of Blue Dream. And
Yeah.
I just started dumping them in the same gallon freezer bag. Now they're in the freezer.
Nice.
Oh,
So
damn, you want
eventually
some,
that's gonna go to extract somehow, some way.
Food grade run, dude.
I
Yeah.
thought
we
you
were
were gonna
talking
say you were
about
gonna
that
run that and smash some of it when you're in press.
There you go.
Well, now I can't.
Oh,
Well, if I get freeze dryer, I can wash it all and call it like suicide
Yeah.
slushy, which I've always wanted to do. So we
I
used to
like
get
it.
at the pool.
yeah,
Like,
there you
what
go.
flavor? And we'd be like, suicide slushy, which means all of them.
That's when
Oh,
you go
yeah.
like 7-Eleven.
That's
hit
Yeah,
every
they
one.
go buy every one of them,
That's
and it was
awesome.
delicious.
I'd always go the
Uh,
house blend. I'd say that's the house blend.
House
man.
blend.
Oh, I like that.
Well,
That's
but see,
fancy.
that sounds that sounds cheap though when it comes to dispos and shit nowadays, right?
It
Like
is
their
cheap.
house.
Oh
weed is
yeah.
always-
I don't care
Where
what
they
it
grew
sounds
it in the
like.
back.
Fuck.
Hey,
I'm
marketing is a
offering
big
somebody
thing.
a free
Spartan,
fucking
you know?
dab. That's fucking.
But
the
if I
house
come
blend.
up to you and you're like, "Hey, I got this house blend or I got this Spartan puke," I'm probably gonna be like, "Well, puke sounds gross, but at least it's got his name to it," you know? Like,
I'll be like, "What's in the the house blend?" Because the puke sounds terrible.
I'm probably not even gonna ask about the house blend. Is this a Spartan puke? That's what it is. I keep seeing people like I don't know names. naming strains in this industry is just like one of those things where it's like, is there really any rhyme or reason? No, it's
Not
just people having
anymore.
fun. Yeah,
Here's the thing, and this goes to everybody listening. You can make it have a fucking reason.
that's true.
You don't have to follow cookies and all these cocksuckers that fucking name shit crazily. Like you can name it purposefully or you can name it whatever you want. It's your prerogative, but just know that we you got the power to change it. So hopefully I stick to that too, and I want to name shit that actually relates to the flavor
Yeah.
or something in it. That so people, just like they use sour diesel. Smells sour and diesely, you know, so stuff like that. But
That's why I
you
went
have the
with Clement
power.
Break. It's Clementine and Point Break. I don't know how more accurate you can get other
Exactly,
than like
exactly.
Point
Like
Clem or
that's fair
something.
as fuck. Like
Yeah, but you can get creative and here's the thing: when you are naming new strains that are based off of two strains that already exist, those two strains probably already have really fun or sweet or interesting names anyway. So you usually come up with a combo based on that or based on the flavor itself, which ideally you're probably going after. But again, we go back to the earlier conversation of like, BX1 versus BX3 versus F1s, and like at what point are we like stabilizing that terpene profile that we know it's what we're going to get when we see the name Clementine, when we see the name Point
it's
Break, when we see the name Garlic Punch or whatever, it has to have some kind of
it's
reputation to it.
interesting because something you just said made me think of like corn and stuff. That's all named like they stick to name and F and this and BX and it'll have a long name if they want to because it's all scientific, it's all purpose driven.
Mhm.
There is no hype. There is no flash
Right.
to it. There's no rappers rapping about the next corn generation. You know what I'm saying? So we are in an
Not
interesting
yet.
where merge is where cannabis it's not everyone's not doing it for science reasons. Everyone's not doing it to
Right.
push the plant like we used to
It's all
10, 20
marketing.
years ago or so, which not everyone did 10 or 20 years ago. I can't say that. There's definitely people out there just to make money, but so now that's
Big
interesting.
thing.
It's a different culture, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's like with Clement Break. Uh, that makes sense, and you could name it, other things. But if you named it Bobby Schmurder, what the fuck does that have to do?
Right.
Like Gary
Yeah.
Payton. Gary Payton doesn't describe anything.
Right.
You just named it because everybody knows that name, and you think it's they thought it was going to get hype.
If I had to name it something, it would probably be based on something that already exists, like an orange starburst, or something that I could connect it to that explains it to someone else. That gives it the description that, and maybe it's because so often now it's because it's behind a glass case or a plexiglass wall, and I can't, I really have to rely on the strain name and maybe the grower or whatever. But yeah, I want it to be as descriptive and simple as possible. Like, it's fun to name shit, but like it better like it better like be big enough that you have a reputation behind it that everyone knows what it is, or it better be descriptive enough like Clementine or Lime Skunk that you just expect that's what it tastes like. Because otherwise,
Yeah.
like, man, you got a lot of work to do to really get the following behind a strain, man.
But there's always fine lines, like because it's not always black and white. There's like growers that have been growing for 30 years that learned from their dad that grew for 40 years that gave them these cuts, and they decided to spend 2 years making a cut and named it after their dad. Well, I can't get
Right.
mad at that. And
Right.
it's and the lineage in it is something their dad loved or something like that. So it does kind of have connection, but like it doesn't describe the flavors. But like there's sometimes I think there's outliers, but some of the main
Jack
culprits
Herrera.
like cookies and stuff are just out of control with the names. And I don't think people should follow that if
Yeah.
you can help it.
Well, I think the worst things that I don't like to see is the ones that just totally kind of shit on like the plant, like what's his name? Calls the strain turds for one of them, and
I didn't, to be honest, I didn't like
Pumpkin.
that they named it Fish Scale. If you know anything about Fish Scale, that's
Yeah, that too.
street name for blow. So like, I don't know if they Cookies
doing
was
lines.
if Cookies was trying to say it's a sativa, or something, but it grew like shit at work, so we didn't keep any of the phenos. It was trash. To me, it was utter trash. Like everything was. I don't know if have you ever grown a pack of seeds and then it looks like a cabbage patch? Like it is just leaves that don't look right. They're all mutants. They're all kind of fat and
Yeah,
short. Or
that's usually why
that was
it's
the
garbage.
fish scale. It was like they were all fucky. It was like, man, y'all really must have smashed some really fucked up herms together or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's like that one didn't. I didn't like the name of that. It's like to me that has a connection. We really shouldn't really connect cannabis to.
Right. There's
And
that.
I'm not. It's, I'm a big supporter.
There's that side of things, and then there's the other side of things where it's just like, yeah, like, do you really want to smoke something that smells like or is called fish scale? Like,
Well, that's yeah. Like, well, yeah. That's the thing.
yeah, that's like that's a marketing.
But that's
side
the
of it,
thing.
though,
Do you want to
know?
smoke? If it's really a fish scale and a real fish scale thing, and you smelled it, it smelled like onion. And I've definitely seen people advertise their cannabis strains as onion. You got like Brandon, he's got onion burger, which to be honest, if I grew a strain, there's some phenos that smell like onions, that'd be kind of cool.
Right.
But so I don't know, it's just weird. It's a weird era we're in, but I think it's gonna flush itself out pretty soon. Next 10 years. We're still in the beginning. We were talking about this at work. We're still in the beginning. Every other industry has had 200, 300, 400 plus years. We're in year 10 to 15 of
the
cannabis.
modern era, though.
Of the modern, yeah. Of
It's been
legalization
taken away
where
from us for
Yeah.
2 generations or so. But before that, it was somewhat commonplace and even medicinally available. But
Yeah.
it stopped there. So in the modern era, it's fallen behind so far. Like, look at how far technology has come. And now we're just in this industry taking the technology from the other industries and applying it to this one because we haven't had the time,
Yeah.
the resources, to catch up on that.
And that's what we're doing is catching up.
Right.
And
Yeah.
which
I don't
is
even think
fine.
we've
Which
caught
is
up yet.
fine.
I
Once we
love
catch up,
comparing cannabis.
we
to
can
art.
advance cannabis only.
Because when you look in like refining equipment and things like that, it mimics like creating CRC and distillate and things like that. And like when you look at those types of foods, when you take away all of those, I don't know, full spectrum plant food medicines that have in it, when you create, sugar instead of just eating a beet, you know what I mean? There's a huge difference. Or eat the whole pineapple rather than just taking the sugar from the pineapple, or the sugar from the honey. There's more enzymes in the honey, right? And then rather just taking the sugar and distilling it from the honey. Similarly with the cannabis and anything, we do that with the cannabis industry, man. I think it is it's very perplexing. I think that's kind of why I favor like the old world methods of like just simple like tinctures and oil based extracts and like hash, dry sieved hash, rather than just like simple mechanical stuff, things that I can, the alcohol thing, right? If all were to
Let's
fail,
get into it because about
all
mechanical versus alcohol or
if all were to
chemical
fail,
separation.
we could take our vegetables and we could ferment them and make some alcohol and some vinegar and some other things and be able to extract our own.
Do you think you can make as clean an alcohol as store-bought Everclear or diesel or whatever?
Yeah.
Can you
'Cause
distill
that's
it?
clean as fuck.
If you can distill
All
it,
you got to be able to do is distill it.
yeah, easily.
Okay.
Which doesn't take that. I
I
mean,
think
they were
anything
doing that in the
you
mountains.
can
Like,
True.
make better at home, 100%.
yeah,
Oh.
definitely the store bought, like,
Might not have the
especially
same
here in
alcohol.
Michigan, because we can't even get that high of content of ethanol.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I after it runs through the Ito, it's probably, I haven't tested it, but I'm sure it's a higher alcohol. It smells more potent.
I was gonna say it's usually like 90 to 95% coming out of a Rotovap, I think. So coming out of that, it's got to be pretty close,
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what's going in. So I don't know. It's 90. I'm using 95%. So
Okay.
190 proof.
So it might even be higher than that. It's just if you're getting a lower recovery rate,
maybe. But then we use all that stuff. We use all that for cleaning and everything, rather than use any of the other stuff. But yeah, I just think that it's like, because there's, however many thousands of years of practice behind those old world techniques, and making hash and sieving.
Well,
and,
shit, just like hash.
well, yeah, and even like tinctures and oils, like there's nothing new about that. And with cannabis, like botanical oils, that's a concept that goes back just as long as probably eating food and all that other stuff,
Right.
for medicines.
I just meant the hat, like hash is like, we were talking about catching up on technology. We used other industries tech to make hash vessels, and now they're specifically made for hash making, so they spin at certain rates. We'd have to like talk to Yeti.
Yeah,
But,
dude,
like,
it's because we've
so it's already
employed
happening.
an army of engineers
Yeah.
from other industries, and we've said, look at the specific profile and the science behind cannabis and what that is, and fine tune these machines that we've basically taken the ideas from other industries, apply that to the process that we're trying to create, and then fine tune it even more into something that depends on the quality of steel, the width of the column that we're using, the
It's like,
temperature that we're bringing it down to.
I
like,
wish I
all of
could have
these
gotten
things.
Einstein hooked on dabs.
Right?
Because
For
he
real,
would have
though.
gone off on it and perfected. He'd be like, oh, this is how you do this.
Yeah.
Or so, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean?
This
Like,
is how
that
I
would.
separate each individual
Yeah.
molecule of terpene, and create your own profile from there. Just like
Yeah.
have at it.
Yeah.
guys.
But, oh, this is easy. Come to my lab. And you're fucking dabbing the purest.
Hey, if someone wants to give
best.
me about $2.2 million, I think I can get there. Just FYI.
Hey, you put it out there. We
That's
can do
what it'll
that.
take, though.
With
Yeah.
inflation, that's not much these days, guys. So
It's really not.
let's
we're
make that
vertically
happen.
integrate right off the bat. We're probably
2023 for
DM
Groli
me
Labs.
if you want to get the details.
Sounds like a plan. How big does it need to be? How big?
Honestly,
how
that's
big,
where-
how
that's
big a
where the
building
damn
would you
money
need
is.
for the perfect for Groli Lab?
Just
That's
the
where the
lab.
money is labs.
I'm
being
saying,
a-
I'm
yeah,
saying, like,
lab.
what is your dream lab? Does your dream lab consist of a blasting area and a lab for testing your own product?
I mean, the whole thing is drawn out.
and a ball pit.
Put in
And a ball pit.
Don't forget the ball pit. It's just
Yeah,
gotta be
that's
deep enough,
important.
I'm
There'd be a slide from the mezzanine.
But
up
like,
to
so
the
how
ball.
No
big would
slides.
that
Hey, that's
be?
extra
Like,
liabilities.
like
no
a
going
50 by
further than
50?
6 feet. No. Honestly, I'm
Magic
looking
word.
for a minimum of 3,000. Ideally, about 5,000. It depends on if we're talking.
Square feet?
Yeah, square feet. If it depends
What
on
is
if we're
that?
talking. We're talking like walk-in freezers, indoor or outdoor, because obviously you can get both. If that's an outdoor thing, then obviously that doesn't count really against the square footage. I need a 20 by 10 C1D1 area with about a ideally 40 by 40 C1D2 area around that. I need an additional room about that size next to it for all the packaging purposes. And if I could get on top of that a kitchen, I would, but that's not first phase priority necessarily. That's more like phase 2 probably. So but yeah, walk-in freezers, big C1D1 and a good enough C1D2 space, and then packaging and storage and all that, man. It doesn't take much, but it's if we want to vertically
Well,
integrate, that's where it takes a lot.
Yeah, the C1D1 shit takes a lot of money. Those things are.
Oh yeah,
expensive.
it's 600 grand basically just for the.
I'm not talking license. I'm talking building.
No, I'm talking
what-
everything but the real estate is about 600 grand. So that's C1D1.
Yeah.
The everything from the nitrile gloves to the
What's a C1D one?
that's the blast proof and
Blast-proof room.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, that's not too bad. We can raise 600K.
Could that
Yeah,
be
no, I
a?
know.
We were talking about doing a calendar at
Could
one
that
point.
be a? What about those?
That's at least like 2K worth.
Exactly.
What about those shipping container things? Are those like?
I'm not a fan, dude. I'm too big to be working in them. I worked in
Yeah.
them before.
Same,
It's
probably
just
too small.
they're 8 foot wide. I could practically touch both walls. Like it's just not enough. I need, and that's why I won't even work in a 10 by 10. I mean, I will, but if ideally I could build my own space, it'd be a 20 by 10 because that's enough to get a couple of vessels, like a couple of closed loop systems in there if we wanted to, advance or maybe focus on something that's more of a distillate production or more of a food grade production versus our craft production. It allows us to add another piece of equipment and have more than one person working in that C1D1.
Yeah. They limit you per person.
No, it's not based on like square. It's just literally I'm talking like space. Like it's
Oh,
just
yeah, you don't want to be bumping into each other.
yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I
It's
got
not an
you.
environment you
Like a
want to be
small
like.
kitchen. Yeah,
Yeah, dude. Like
I got you.
this is an
Kitchen during rush
explosion-proof environment. Like this is something that we want room to work around each other in and not be creating static.
Like,
even, like-
is this like the thing at Winewood but bigger?
oh, dude, this would be about
Yeah, way
eight
bigger. than
times
that.
that size.
Is that C1 or D1 though, or whatever?
That's a C1 D1, yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
This is
it's like a bomb igloo or something.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good way.
I
of putting it.
gotcha. Like,
And that's
yeah,
it's one of
that's
those
cool.
things that like they're on the same levels of.
Do they
they're
come
actually-
pre-built, or can you
can get them
modulate them?
pre-built, and that's what he's talking about with like the trailers. You can get like literally a shipping container that gets. Put on
Yeah,
a
I've seen
trailer.
those, but I'm with you. I
But you
wouldn't.
could also
I'm
get
too
them
big to
fabricated
work
with
in that.
inside of a building, and that's the one I would be looking for. You know.
Oh,
something a
so
little
you can
semi-permanent.
fabricate. That's neat.
Yeah,
So you could
yeah.
do however you needed.
Yep.
Maybe you could even do little cutouts for the blast tubes or something.
Well, yeah, man.
Gives you even more room for activities. I don't know if
I
it's
like the way you think.
modular
Maybe
or
some bunk beds. You get like a dual tier.
well, if
closed
you're
loop
gonna
system.
be in there all night, you might want that.
I plan on being there a lot.
And if you're
Need
gonna
room
do
for
that,
your
we might
hammock.
as well get glow in the dark stars for the ceiling.
I don't think
Yeah,
the
we have
hammock is
to.
C1 D1 rated, but we might be able to fabricate one that is.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
sounds like
Needs to
plan.
happen.
That'd
Actually, if
be
you
neat.
guys have ever been to a propane fill station that's indoors, most of them are just like the tank sitting outside.
Yeah,
like
I used to film, but it was just an outdoor one.
Same here. I was certified in
Huh.
that too, way back in the day, way before I even started growing weed. It's just
I was definitely not certified.
certified. That's funny. Florida does things different, but
Yeah.
no, I have you ever been into an indoor one? An indoor propane filling station is essentially a C1 D1 environment.
Oh.
They've got a couple of them around Flint, and there's electricity, but it's all C1 D1 rated electricity, so it's all fully enclosed lighting. So there's no outlets, there's no electricity running at all. And I always joke with the guys because they got an 8-hour shift, right? And they can't even charge their cell phone. It's like
So
you
wait, what about you? Like, what about equipment? You don't need any electric to run all your stuff.
no, so it's all piped through the walls. That's how they get around it. So like
Oh, like a
the
conduit comes
chiller-
through the wall,
right. It's
and then the
all
wires. Okay,
yeah, and so then there's also
I
like
see.
there's also
Into a
C1
box on the
D1 rated
outside.
equipment that can operate in that room. Like the have you ever seen like the Punisher pump from Precision Extraction? It's like their $16,000 giant
Google it.
big black pump. I forget what it's called,
Punisher pump.
but I had a picture on my Instagram. It was probably the one that got deleted, but I worked with one of those, and it is one that you can run in a C1 D1 environment, but I think it's a NEMA rated outlets or whatever. Like there's a certain
NEMA
electrical
7.
rating. Yeah, there's a certain
I
electrical
don't know
rating
if
you have
this
to
is a
have.
GC 5000 gas
That's
compressor.
it. Yep.
Jeez.
Got a big old Punisher like logo on it or whatever, but it's for active recovery. It's not something I'm really a fan of at all, and not something I run currently.
Yeah.
Ever outside of a commercial environment, quite frankly. But it's a way of speeding up your process. It's a pump that can handle hydrocarbons essentially, whereas most
Yeah.
vacuum pumps can't. They'll just fail or blow up, or you'll have a bad time. But it's a $16,000 pump or whatever, so it takes a lot of maintenance and whatnot. But that's a pump that can run inside of a C1 D1, so it's literally sitting there right next to your.
I think it's gone up.
I'm not surprised. Inflation.
$19,788 for a
There you
freaking pump.
go.
Holy crap!
It's all for Gully for that discount. Maybe I can hook it up.
You could run the Detroit Aquarium on that. I don't think we have an aquarium, do we? Man, we gotta get an aquarium.
Yeah, dude. Why don't you spearhead that?
Yeah, I feel like that's something that could definitely happen. And we'll just sneak your lab in the budget.
I'll be running it underground, just feeding all my
that's
CO2 back to
our that's our clownfish farm where we breed clownfish.
They're all white.
Yeah, yeah.
I got red lipstick on.
Pretty good show. Miss Skilbo,
Yeah.
Miss Tara.
Yeah.
She couldn't make it, but
Baked, you held it down though.
I guess
Excellent work.
we got off topic a lot, but
Yeah. That's what we're here
That's
for.
what I do.
Okay, come back again tomorrow, 11 o'clock p.m. for the late
Oh,
set.
yep. Yeah.
There
You
it
think
is.
he's
What
gonna
he
be here?
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.